chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, you need to run lickety split. But you can't run because you're the baddest. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the gyms alive. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Arm tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? No, I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal, I'm the man.
Look at a match for the total package, Lex Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday, what is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Bowl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane, I say thank you very much!
Make a good lucha.
I hate God!
Hit the double! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the style and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
Before that gives me a seizure. What is going on, everybody? I am Boxman. It is Wednesday night. Hope everybody's having a great goddamn night. This is Dirt Sheet Dudes. And, of course, what would this show be without a Smark or two? But I've got the main Smark, the Smark Wahlberg. How you doing there, sir?
Yes, sir. How are you today? How is everyone? Answer, pause the podcast and answer at home if you're listening. We'll wait patiently, and there we go. Resume.
There we go. Yeah, man, I'm doing pretty goddamn good for a Wednesday. Knowing I got to get up at 5:30 tomorrow morning. But hey, I don't. You know what's weird? I hate the drive home from work. I don't mind the drive to work. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Helps get you awake, I suppose.
I guess it does. I mean, I used to drive 15 minutes and, you know, I'd still be like half awake, half asleep.
I think the drive home sucks because it just feels like it's never going to end.
The drive home, I just want to get home. I'm used to just leaving work, being home in 15 minutes. Now it's a 50-minute, damn near hour ride some days. It's just different. I'm still getting used to it. But the ride home, luckily I work from 7 to 4 instead of 8 to 5, because at 5 o'clock, that would be an hour and 20-minute ride home. So, Jesus Christ, that'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, by the time I got home, I'd have to I'm going to bed. I'm going to sleep. Fuck it. But yeah, the drive, I'm still getting used to it. But the morning drive, I don't mind it, man. I go across 2 bridges over the lake, and pretty nice. It's pretty damn nice to have that little run in the morning. I enjoy it. So anyway, what's going on with you, man? What's going on? What's going on? Anything?
Yeah, just hanging and banging, doing my thing.
All right. Just wondering what everyone keeps coming in the room. Baby, looking for something?
Yeah, they're blue jeans.
They're blue jeans. I have no clue where their blue jeans would be. But thank you. No, it's all right. Okay. Oh, my wife's on the hunt for jeans.
Y'all, aren't we? That's what life is about. We're all looking for, in some form or fashion, our perfect jeans, whatever that looks like for you.
The old country song about tight fitting jeans. Remember that one?
Yeah, you're gonna have to be way more specific. There's about 87 of them.
Well, the old one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that narrows it down to about 73 or so. But
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yes.
I believe it or not, I forget who it's by, but I remember hearing it when I was a kid. That's all I remember. Her tight fitting jeans. Anyway, that's all I remember.
That's actually my favorite Johnny Cash song. Yeah, where he just like kind of scat sings in the middle of it.
Yeah. That's the
Got
one.
them tight jeans, skibble that bop.
Skibbity dibbity, hibbity boppity boo. No, that's not. Please, let's stop torturing everybody with.
You know, I remember back in a simpler time when boys could be boys and people knew how to keep their mouths shut.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you there. But anyway, it was a different time. But we all know that social media ruined that shit. It ain't never going back to the same, so why bitch about it? Anyway, I guess on that note, I guess we'll just jump into plugs at this point. Probably best idea. Just kind of let me stop this. Let me close this. And there we go. I got that going. What do you think, Smark? Want to do some plugs? Feel like doing plugs?
Yeah, let's do it. Always.
There you go. All right. So that means we get to start out with the high marks. That's right. It's Cheeseman. It's Mojo. It's G-Wiz. We've got 2/3 of the show in the chat room, and we appreciate it. What is going on, gentlemen? So there you go. Now, you're going to ask me where to check these guys out. You should know by now. But if you don't, Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. There's 2 T's in Mitt. Do not forget Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network, 8:30 p.m. Sunday nights Eastern Time. And actually, we're going to have Cheese on this Friday night for the Draft Day review with the return of Hollywood Hangout. It's going to be a little bit of a later show this Friday. Cheese is working, and I really want to get him on with us. He's a sports guy. It'd be nice to have a couple of sports guys on, and my stupidity, because I know nothing about sports. So it's going to be a nice little 2-on-1 there, and he's going to be joining us. So once again, check out the high mark, Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. And don't forget, 8:30 p.m. Sundays Eastern Time. All right, and of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, the Inhuman Experience. You always want to be checking those guys out over there. You can find them on all the usual podcast platforms. And while you're there, check out the Everything Unscripted podcast. That's Eric, it's Doug, it's Daniel. They are over there having a great time. You can also check them out on Blog Talk Radio. Don't forget to show some love to Stephen Milan. He's over there on letterboxd.com/Stephen Milan. There's 2 L's in that last name. He's reviewing movies, which I cannot wait to get back to doing. And like I said, you guys know where you can find us. YouTube, you can go on Anchor, you can go on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Player FM, Ghost.
That's right. Mondays, 8:30 p.m. on the Metal Mitt Podcast Network. On the Mixler machine, we have Cheese on Sports with Cheeseman, with G-Wiz, Luke Birch, and Mark Wahlberg, apparently. I don't know who that is, never heard of him, but people are getting desperate these days. They're just going to let anybody on a podcast now.
Obviously.
Yep. So anyways, listen to them Mondays, 8:30, Metal Mitt Podcast Network on the Mixler machine, and 10:30 a.m. Sundays. You want to listen to the Motor City Machine Guns with Mojo and with Dirk. And last but never least, check out our friends at the Planet Raconteur. It's the Planet Raconteur podcast with Poppy Anthem, Papa Dave Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. All 16 episodes of Season 1 are available. Season 2 is ongoing, so be sure to subscribe.
All right, there you go. And you know, the funny thing is, Cheese just found out that we are waiting for him. I had said I was going to talk to you. I forgot that you said it was cool to do a late show. So Cheese just found out he's going to actually be doing a show Friday night with us.
Surprise for him, huh?
Surprise! Yay! All right, now I'm actually excited to have both you guys doing this sports movie. And it's not going to be the movie's only an hour and 50 minutes, number one. Number two, The beginning and middle of it are a little slow. I'm going to get us through it pretty quick, and then I want to get to the meat when they start doing the draft, actually. So shouldn't be bad. It should be a damn good time, man. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to Hollywood Hangout coming back. That means I believe we're going to be doing that at 11:30 p.m., right around that time, Eastern time. Sound about right?
Right. I believe so. That works for me for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right around the time we're going to be starting that one. It's only 10:30 my time, so it's me. I'm special. What can I say? It's just earlier for me. But anyway, I guess that means we can get into a little bit of wrestling talk. There is a ton of stuff to get into, and of course, we are not going to be talking Wrestling Friday, so you're going to be getting our all-out predictions tonight.
That's it.
That is it. To just kind of start off and get one pretty bad thing out of the way, last night, Rikishi was posting on social media. Looks like someone has murdered his niece. I don't know if there's an update on this situation, but it was in the Bay Area. Looks like it was somewhere in the San Francisco area. And these guys are still out there, and he is pissed. Rikishi is not happy. I really hope these guys are caught, and I feel horrible for that whole family right now, what they're going through.
Yeah. He was saying that she's only 16, or she was only 16 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
it's never good to hear regardless, but especially somebody that young. That's just terrible.
Yeah, and just, cut down. It looks like it was some sort of gunfire. Actually, right here on the poster for $50,000 reward with anyone that's leading to the arrest of whoever did this. So if you're in the Bay Area, you know anything, there you go. But it looks like on Friday, July 30th, 2021, at approximately 6:45 p.m. So this was in July. This happened, actually. A shooting occurred on Bertha Lane in San Francisco's Bayview neighborhood, resulted in the murder of a 16-year-old. I believe her name was Jadea.
It sounds right.
And the wounding of another adult female. So there was another victim in this too. And yeah, they are definitely, like I said, looking for 50 grand for the information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction. You do have to have all three in order to get the money. They have to be arrested, convicted, and everything. So, just kind of wanted to get that out of the way. Again, feel absolutely horrible for this family. 16 years old is horrible. Parents aren't supposed to bury their children. Uncles aren't supposed to bury their nieces or nephews. It's just a horrible story all around.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. But just wanted to throw that one out there. He's been kind of going off on it lately, and it's just been kind of popping up all over my feed today. So I wanted to pop that in there real quick and just, like I said, get that one over with. And let's see what else. Man, I was gonna just see where that took us, but I'm not sure where to go from there. But there's, like I said, plenty to get into. You know what we can do?
What's that?
I do have the audio after Zack Ryder successfully retained his GCW championship the other night, Smark.
Yes.
Did you watch that match?
Yeah, I think that was like 2 weeks ago. That was on the 20th, I believe. That was the same night that Punk debuted on Rampage. So I had a show on. I think it was like 10:30, 11 that night. I did see that match, though. He took on but it was essentially kind of a ring crew guy, one of the new members or aspiring members, young guy.
Well, GCW put this out on the 28th. So I don't know if they kept this or wanted to do some editing or production, but this is what was said. Man, I'm going to tell you, I still can't believe Zack Ryder is the fucking heel that we didn't know we needed in 2021. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's been doing a really good job. I posted on the Wrestling Umbrella group. He had made a custom belt. He now has the GCW World Championship spinner belt. So he done went and Sports Entertainified their championship. So that's interesting.
Fucking love it, man. Fucking love what he is doing. But not only kind of wrapping up 2021 with him, and we're going into 2022, very soon. Coming up on, September already. September 1st today, man. Jesus Christ.
That's it. Yep.
All right, let's do this. Okay, let's unmute first. Then,
Always important.
Well, sometimes I like to just do that, just to see if I'm awake. Obviously, I'm not. Here we
What's
go.
that? That's how you fucking do it, baby. Right? He fucking knows. Hell yeah. I fucked him up. Don't fuck with me, okay? This isn't a joke anymore. I'm the face of this company. Brett, I know you're watching. I know you're gonna try to avoid paying me tonight. But I know what you owe me. You owe me even more after tonight. I bring people to these fucking shows because they wanna see me get my ass kicked, but it's not gonna happen. Because I am the GCW World fucking Champion. Remember that!
Where the fuck was this Zack Ryder?
Mm-hmm.
Where's this guy been?
It's the machine, the old WWE machine, just crushing spirits. You got to get your soul back. You got to learn how to, like we talked about before, learn how to walk again, essentially.
I absolutely just love what he's doing right now, man. I just think he's got it. It's like he's been completely, we say this a lot of guys that leave WWE. It's like he's been completely reinvigorated, like a new person.
Mm-hmm. He's actually allowed to think for himself and to do what he wants to do, and he doesn't have to deal with people teaser for later rewriting a bunch of shit over and over again. Yeah,
which we'll get into that story later. Might have been a tough week for the old creative team, if you believe the story. But I just really, I'm just enjoying what he's doing. I think he's, like I said, he's completely just a whole different wrestler, a different person, a different attitude, a different fucking everything about him. My God, imagine if WWE let him go heel and really work what he's doing now as a heel. He would have been great. But no, they wanted him to go out there, be laughed at, and woo it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, but like even when that got over, him just kind of being a dork or whatever, they got over, and then they're like, well, you got over without our blessing, so we shall punish you. We shall smite thee.
Oh, of course. I mean, like we've said before, they took that YouTube show of his, completely fucked it up. Basically just dumped it, got rid of it. They were like, yeah, thanks for that. Later, bitch.
Right.
All done. And yeah, he did. He got over with no help from WWE. He did some fucking hilarious videos online that really got him over. And then they were like, yeah, let's get that YouTube thing going. Help us out here, Zack Ryder. I think that was kind of not the start of their channel, but I think that was where their channel started picking up, is when they brought that show over. But they never made a new episode from what I remember. So, I don't know. Who knows, Smark?
Age-old question. Who knows?
Yes, that age-old question. But fucking Cardona really doing some good shit out there, especially with GCW. Loving it. Absolutely fucking loving it.
I'm liking the progression here in the chat room. Wiz says it's almost like WWE doesn't allow wrestlers to create their own persona or make personal artistic choices. It's almost like whenever they do allow someone some freedom and it gets over, it just pisses Vince off and he buries him. It's almost like Vince hasn't run a successful wrestling program since 2001.
It is almost like that. Wow, it's almost, you know what? It's exactly like that. And that's exactly what Vince does. It's like he takes offense when they decide to go out and try to get themselves over. Well, did I tell him to get over? I didn't tell you to get over. Did I?
Unfortunately, it's successful in the margins, which is really all he gives a shit about.
Well,
I guess I don't blame him. He's making himself a lot of money, but it's just... it's been lacking the last couple of years.
People need to start taking a little bit advantage of his dementia. No, Vin, you did tell me to get... You don't remember that?
That is a brilliant idea. Somebody just insisting that it was his idea to do this gimmick or to do this promo. It's like, no, you told me. You said it would be great.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they try to take old Nikki Ash off, just be like, no, Vince, you told me to do it. Mm-hmm. You don't remember.
I distinctly remember.
You don't remember. And he'll go, Now I do. Yeah.
I like the progression of that accent because you started off with a bad but still no understandable Scottish accent, and then you went full on Irish. You became Seamus halfway through the accent.
I'm horrible at the stereotypical accents. I apologize.
I mean, I can't do it either, but it's not really that, they're actually like saying words. It's more just kind of guttural noises that those Scottish people are making. They're white, so I can make fun of them. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. There you, it's like the guy in Jaws. You can barely understand what that goddamn ship captain is saying. We little Spanish lady.
That's it.
I've got to hit a bigger boat. Times ago. No, anyway, let's just stop this shit. Okay.
There you go.
It's been a long day, man. I mean,
I don't know. You were talking about Jaws, and I kind of just drifted away into that like part of the movie where there's just like a weird, like kind of upskirt shot in the middle of the movie for no apparent reason during that town hall meeting.
Well, you had to have something like that in the 80s if somebody wanted people to go to your movies.
Sweeten it up a little bit.
I mean, why do you think all the fucking good 80s, high school comedies had boobs?
That's true. I mean, nothing makes me laugh more than a good pair of tits.
Well, they were funny, but they were dirty, filthy, mostly adult comedy movies, and they're fucking still classics. Animal House, Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's.
I was just about to ask if that was 80s or if that was late 70s, so you answered my question.
Porky's might have been late 70s, 79, 80, but who cares?
Let's look her up.
All right. Well, I believe there were 3 of them. I know there was Porky's and Porky's Revenge, but I believe there was a third.
Original 1981, according to IMDb. So there you go.
There you go. It is an 80s movie. But I mean, they had so many of those little franchises back then that were they were awesome. But anyway, we can get into this on the movie show. This is why I'm bringing back the movie show. We talk about so many goddamn movies on this show. Might as well do it.
There you go.
There you go. So, oh shit, sorry about that. I hit my mic cord. On that note, real quick, speaking of things that drive you crazy, I guess. Brandi Rhodes. Smart.
Okay, real quick, I have to mention this. I'm looking at the Porky's IMDb, and like the thing that they're showing you like the movie poster, the theatrical poster, and it is of course the eye looking through the peephole and the woman in the shower, and then unfortunately, and this is just a bad coincidence, alongside they're like enticing you to look at different photo galleries that they have. And the very first one, right alongside the Porky's theatrical poster, child stars then and now. Like, very uncomfortable for everybody.
Those always are, man. Because most of those child stars from back then really got screwed up. I mean, Corey Haim, we obviously know how that ended with him. I mean, there was a lot of those child stars that just went out of control, just completely out of control. So, I mean, Corey Feldman is a fucking nut bar, but he's probably one of the most adapted to whatever, out there. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess you got a few more out there that were really young when they started acting that are still out there now. That not all of them, but a lot of them just went fucking nuts. Went fucking crazy, man. Jesus Christ, look at Tom Cruise. He's fucking another fucking nut bar.
That's it. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. I mean, it's a lot of pressure to live under those circumstances as an adult. I can only imagine being a child, not knowing who you are necessarily, and having to deal with those kind of ringers.
Yeah, I mean, basically just parents just sitting there getting rich off you. That's about what was going on. But anyway, speaking of getting...
Shout out to Joe Jackson.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of getting rich off of television, we've got reality television now, and we do know that Brandi and Cody's show is coming out September 29th, the new Rhodes to the Top show. But in the meantime, Brandi, Rhodes, and Knocking Point Wines, which is Steve Amell's wine company, has collaborated and made a wine called Whoa Baby. It is a rose wine, and it is immediately available for purchase on Knocking Point Wine's website. So Brandi now has her own wine.
Is there a rosé?
Oh, yes, rosé, not rose. I'm sorry, I am not a wine drinker. I am not, what do they call that? Refined, I believe is what they call that.
Legitimately thought you were going to say female. I'm disappointed that you didn't take the low road there.
No, I was going with refined the whole time.
Oh well, that happens. First off, I think that the obvious point is that she missed by not having her own Brandi. That is the first thing. B,
good one.
The Stephen Amell guy. He's got some resources. He's got some influence there. He's got his own fucking wine brand.
Mm-hmm. Got his own wine brand. A lot of these actors. I mean, George Clooney, I believe, has what does he have? A tequila. Him and someone else. Him and another actor have a tequila. The company's in where I work around that area because I see the trucks every day. Him on a motorcycle cruising down the road with someone. I forget who it is though that he's in business with. I mean, The Rock now has a tequila out.
It's amazing how many non-Hispanic people have their own tequilas. Where it's like, I mean, I don't want to make everything about race, but I don't know if I really want to buy a tequila from a white dude. Like, it is what I say this as a white dude. I prefer a little bit of authenticity. I know that they're not out there fucking distilling it themselves. I get that. Right. But, like, when I think tequila, I don't want to think about George Clooney.
I don't know, man. That Cabo Wabo Silver is some good shit, dude.
I suppose I haven't tried it. I'm not much of a tequila drinker. Like I've said, I like tequila, but I can't afford tequila in most circumstances. Yeah,
that's Sammy Hagar. Cabo Wabo tequila is fucking good. It's good shit.
I will take your word for it.
It is. Well, you can get a little bottle one day. They sell them in the minis. You could do that. You could do that. They sell the little minis. So, all right. But yeah, Brandi now has her own wine, and you're right. She should have a brandy. Which let's give it time. Maybe Mr. Amell will delve into that a little more at some point.
It's really weird how like there's sort of a pass for women where like you're allowed to drink as much as you want as long as it's wine and you're not considered an alcoholic. It's kind of weird how that's just normal. Not for drinking as much as humanly possible, but it's weird that there's certain passes for certain liquors.
Yeah, there really is. I'll tell you, man. When I used to do like I told you before, me and my sister used to ride horses when we lived in North Carolina. My sister still has horses today. But the mothers of most of these girls, now remember this was in North Carolina, true Southern belles are what these women were, and they would every morning wake up, get the big jug of wine, though I feel like Gallo and Chablis, I believe something was the name of it or something like that, giant jug, and they'd start drinking it like fucking, we're up at like 4 a.m, getting shit ready. They start drinking at like 6:30.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I look at brunch, where it's like it's okay for you to have like bottomless mimosas at 11 a.m. But if I wake up at like 11 a.m. on a Sunday and I do a shot of vodka, I'm like, I have a problem. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm in a park and I'm naked, but that's besides the point.
That's why before you go to the park, you go and stop and you grab a little bit of tomato juice. You put it in there. You say you're having a Bloody Mary. Again, it's a morning drink. You're okay.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's all you need. Just put a little splash in there for taste. Go up. Had a Bloody Mary this morning. Get a piece of celery. Chew on it. You're good to go.
There you go. As it says, you can call it a cognac, but if it wasn't made in France, his words, by smelly people who hate me, his words again, I am not interested. I echo that sentiment, but I did not say that sentiment so much. That is true, though. I think if it's not in France, it doesn't technically count. I think like in bourbon doesn't count if it's not made in Kentucky. It can't like officially be called bourbon.
Yeah, bourbon's just whiskey, right? Isn't bourbon, whiskey, and scotch kind of the same?
But I think it's named for like a specific county or something.
Maybe for the barrel, bourbon barrel. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Are you really looking up why?
Yeah, I am looking up the Wikipedia article on bourbon. I'm trying to find it. Let's see, bourbon has been distilled since the 18th century, although bourbon may be made anywhere in the United States. It is strongly associated with the American South and general Kentucky in particular. As of 2014, distillers' wholesale market revenue for bourbon sold within. Okay, that doesn't help at all. Yeah, I don't know. There's something where it has to be made somewhere specific outside of just like we were talking about before. That I could have swore that it had to be in Kentucky for it to be bourbon, but I could be wrong.
I don't know, man. Let's see. George Clooney's tequila. Casamigos. That's the name of it. And it's him and who is this guy? Who is the guy he is with here? It's another actor. Oh, he sold this company for $1 billion already. Yeah, I'm sorry. He's already sold this company, but they're obviously using his likeness. They actually have him on like I said, he's on a motorcycle traveling through, just on the road. But I'm trying to see who it was that he had the business with. Like I said, I know it's George Clooney. It doesn't really matter. But I know like I said, I just see the pictures all the time when the truck's driving up and down. You want to just stop them. Give me a bottle.
Of course, yeah. There's like you were talking about. There's a couple of different people that make their own or have their own tequila. You were talking about Sammy Hagar, George Clooney, Bryan Cranston of Breaking Bad fame has his own.
Really?
The Rock. Snoop Dogg has something, but I don't think it's bourbon or fucking tequila. I think it's something else.
Probably some. I don't know.
I think it might actually be gin and juice. Now that I think about it.
Probably, or at least a gin. I'm sure he would have that. That might just be his name on it. It might just slap it or by your name.
Yep. Snoop Dogg announces gin brand. In Dog Go. Instead of Indigo. It's very, very clever.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going with that. But a lot of people out there, they venture out, man. You know what? They've already got a name. A lot of this shit sells really well when it first comes out. So, what are you gonna do, man? Get your name out there, bro. And
there you go.
Speaking of getting your name out there, WWE has filed for a few new trademarks. Y'all know I like talking about these trademarks every now and then. They filed for 4 more at the end of August, which we did not talk about yet. WWE, they filed for Extreme Rules. AWA, they refiled for WWE Universe, of course. This is a refile that I wanted to kind of get into, though. A few video game people out there. WWE Brawl. Do you remember hearing about this at all, Smark?
It doesn't ring a bell, but we may have talked about it in the past.
It was a game set to come out for a little while. It was going to be by THQ. Before THQ went bankrupt, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe they're gone. And when they went bankrupt, they lost the rights to WWE and all of its, all the likenesses and all that. Excuse me. This was supposed to be kind of WWE's version of Super Smash Brothers, if you ever played that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are right, by the way. THQ is indeed bankrupt.
Yeah. So there you go. So it's that, but it looks like they have jumped back in and done this one more time. I bet it's going to be an app of sorts, or they're putting out an actual brand new video game, but I would figure this is going to be another app that they're going to put out. So I guess we'll have to see, but it does say video computer games, video computer discs, so they probably are going to try to put out a video game with this. It was 2012 when it was put out there, and then in 2015, I believe, they put out another article like, hey, we might still do this one day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looks like that day has come. So, but I guess we'll see what goes on. But with all the electronic games, that does include, a phone device, video device, apps, tablets, blah, 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 blah. So, you never know. Could be an app, could be a game, could be both. Could be a video game that gets turned into an app. Could be an app that could
Or
turn
an
into a
app.
video game.
There you go. I was a little bit ahead of you on that one, but yeah, I was a little. I would say it's probably going to be an app. I'd be a little bit surprised if they brought out another game because they're not too far removed from releasing the Battlegrounds game in place of 2K21. And I liked that game, but I seemed like I was in the minority for that. It seemed like a lot of people didn't like that game.
I had fun with it. I don't even have my PlayStation 4 hooked up right now, but I don't know. And for Extreme Rules, why they basically did that so they could start selling merch for Extreme Rules, because that's really what this is all, what the whole trademark is all about. Clothing, top shirts, jackets, sweatshirts, hoodies, belts, sneakers, flip-flops, boots, headwear, hats, caps, wristbands, bandanas, footwear.
Duvet covers?
Nope, not in there.
Hell.
Halloween and masquerade costumes are in there. AWA looks like they're looking to do toys, action figures, accessories, dolls, foam fingers. What? Christmas tree decorations, arcade games, kites, bobbleheads, puppets, card games. All this for AWA. And WWE Universe, another one they hit up for video games, Mark. Another one they hit up for a video game. I could see this being their, how do I put this and not sound like I'm being a dick? I could see this being their ripoff of the AEW General Manager game.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, that's it's very much a monkey see, monkey do kind of situation with that stuff, because everybody at this point has their own card game. I don't know who came first. It doesn't really matter. But WWE has Super Card. New Japan has their own. I don't know what they're calling it, but they have their own little card game app. AEW has a general manager thing. I don't know if they have a card game app of their own, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do or if they will in the future. So that's just one of those things. The GM thing. People have been playing GM simulations. That's not a word. Simulations. There we go. Yes. All right. There we go. First time, every time. First take Jake is what they call me. But they've been playing simulations for the longest time. Like, even back in the day, the EWR I played that a lot when I was like 14. So it's been out there for a minute. People like playing those kind of games. The GM simulators.
Oh, it's like fantasy booking.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like fantasy football, is what it is. It's the same thing. I never got into it, but, it is what it is. But there you go. 4 more kind of interesting trademarks on WWE's end here. Just wanted to kind of get into those real quick. I always like doing that. Spark, you got a few here. Why don't you just grab one, and then we'll move on from there, sir.
All right. Well, this is not a very positive thing to talk about. I didn't send this to you, but I was seeing this on Twitter while we were talking. Have you heard anything about what's been going on with Daphne?
I'm
just going to wait till Friday to talk about that?
Well,
kind of wait for things to transpire? Because, long story short, without necessarily kind of reporting anything that isn't true, she has apparently she was on Instagram Live kind of saying some very sort of cryptic things, implying that she wants to or maybe intending to do some self-harm. Mick Foley put that out in a tweet, so it's kind of on him if we're wrong here. But apparently she's having a really rough go of it.
Yeah, and I'm seeing it from more than
this is Mick Foley's tweet says, if anyone has a way of reaching Daphne Younger or knows her address, please help out. She's in a bad personal place and is threatening to harm herself. My phone call went straight to voicemail. A lot of people are saying that it is all just going straight to voicemail.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, and that's what a lot of people are saying. Someone get over there, get in touch with her, reach out. Somebody reach out to her. And yeah, a lot of people were saying it looked like there was possibly a gun under a blanket. Let's hope someone reaches out to Daphne. I don't know much about. I mean, I obviously we're not going to talk wrestling on Friday, but I didn't want to know what was going to transpire. I hope nothing transpires. I hope someone gets a hold of her and everything's good. She was just having a bad day.
Right. Yeah, I forgot that there's still Friday show, but Yeah, Sean Ross Sapp saying, for those concerned about Daphne, emergency services have been contacted and sent to her most recent known address. So that's something that was an hour ago. It's kind of the thing. Like, there was, we didn't really talk about it, but it's, I want to say 3 weeks to a month old by now. There's kind of a similar situation happening with Michael Elgin, too.
Yeah.
Where he was in a dark place and kind of threatening some things, and everything turned out, for the best on that one. He seemed to be okay. So hopefully that will also happen in her case. But
Yeah.
it is something, I guess, to kind of touch on real quick while we're going through the news, because it's a big news story at the moment.
Yeah, it was coming up. It was everybody was kind of posting right as we were kind of just about to go on the air, and again, I didn't know what was going on, so looks like we got a little more information now, and I'm glad someone's been called, and like I said, hopefully there is no situation, nothing bad happening, and it'll just, like I said, hopefully she just had a shitty day and needed to get some stuff off her chest, and that's it.
There you go.
Yeah, let's just hope that's everything right there. And you know what? Let's go to, Mark, why don't we jump into the, oh, son of a bitch.
What's that? Well, we got problems here.
Not a big problem. I just accidentally closed my browser.
All right. Well, I mean, in the meantime, I have all the shit that I could talk about up here, so we could just transition to that. I guess we'll keep the women's wrestling theme going on here. CM Punk's been making a media blitz. I'm not entirely sure which show it was on that he said this, but he was kind of fielding some questions, this and that. The subject of his wife, AJ, came up, and it said, CM Punk on AJ wrestling again, quote, "The reason she stopped wrestling is because of her neck. She's got a bad neck, I didn't know. Don't make assumptions. I wouldn't want her to jeopardize her health, and neither would she. So we'll put an end to that rumor right now." Which, I mean, there was a little bit of talk about that. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't considered the idea of, with him being in AEW and now being outside of WWE, that maybe there was a possibility that she would come on board. She was pretty talented when she was in WWE, and she would have definitely helped the women's division, although the women's division's doing just fine at the moment, so it's not like it's necessarily needed. But it was the thought was out there. There was some speculation. People were kind of wondering if we would be seeing her again, so it kind of put an end to those rumors, as it were.
Oh yeah, and people were, hoping for it. A lot of people were hoping she was going to come out there and just be with him on a show, which I could see that happening. I could see her coming out, maybe just being ringside, or even Sunday she could just be sitting ringside. I wouldn't doubt it at all if she was.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he gave her a shout out last week on the show. Said he wanted to tell his wife that he loved her, and that was how he ended the promo last week. So,
such a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good lad. Oh, speaking of, I guess we're still trying to kill some time a little bit. He was on episode of Heels this week. They're on episode 3 right now. I'm assuming that you haven't seen it because I know you've been busy, but they've been running shows. Heels has been out for 3 weeks, and I've watched all 3 of them. He was on this week. His character is Ricky Rabies, who basically looks like an old version of Jungle Boy. Like, he comes out and he's like, it's like very jungle themed, safari themed. He has on like a loincloth and shit. Like, it's pretty wild.
Oh, I might have to watch just for that.
Yeah, his whole thing is like he's the old timey veteran that they bring on to help sell tickets. Like, I won't spoil much more of that because I don't want to give the plot away for people who haven't seen it. But he's the guy the big name from the past that they bring in to try to move some numbers. So that was pretty interesting. It's funny though because he's doing a Southern accent, but he's doing a Southern accent while still talking in his own distinct voice, like he's trying to do one. It would be kind of like if Johnny Ace tried to do like a Leonardo or Robert De Niro impression, and he was still just talking like Johnny Ace or Leonardo DiCaprio. It doesn't matter. The point is that he did a bad impression. That's what I was trying to get over.
So then he sits there and he goes, "Hoo-ah."
Exactly, because he's like, you can tell that he's trying to put a Southern inflection on what he's saying and getting a Southern twang going, but it's still it's CM Punk talking in a bad Southern accent. So it's like, I love the guy, but I don't know if he's long for the world when it comes to acting.
And he said, "Look, but don't touch." Feel. But no. Okay, was that good? You like that one?
I might actually watch that movie. Yeah.
Devil's Advocate. Good movie.
Well, I mean the Johnny Ace version specifically, I'd watch that.
There you go.
Fucking Johnny Ace and Bad Grandpa.
I mean, Pacino is much better at doing that.
Oh, that's the one he's in.
There you go. You know, did you say De Niro or Pacino, by the way?
I did say De Niro. I started to say Leonardo DiCaprio. I had a specific reference in mind when I brought this up, but then I completely forgot who I was going to say. So I just sort of kind of did on the fly, said De Niro, but then I started saying DiCaprio. So everything kind of fell apart as it normally does.
Yeah, I went with Pacino. De Niro's, I mean, you can't really do De Niro unless someone's looking at you because you have to look like you smelled something bad.
She's got a great big ass. Let me tell you something, kid. Hey, something, you cockroach.
You got your head all the way up it.
I really badly want a Johnny Ace movie now.
Whatever you want. They could even get me to do the voice if they'd like to.
How has he not been hired to do voiceover work?
Well, at this point, they just get Stone Cold to do it. Girl,
That's
what?
True. Yeah, that is definitely that. It did start to kind of converge into Stone Cold after a minute there.
I know, that's why I did that.
That makes sense. I get it. I get you.
Shit. I really couldn't think of any De Niro's lines. I'll punch him in the face. How's that? Better? There you go.
Yeah. I couldn't either, so you could have literally said anything, and I would have followed your lead.
But yeah, I mean, De Niro's more of a, you got to do the face. You got to kind of bring the whole thing down, kind of look like Scarface, but a little more sad,
Sad Scarface.
Yeah, and then you got to move the lip every now and then. Just, you're looking at
Which,
me.
by the by, not particularly funny, but I like the name Sad Scarface as a potential title.
Yeah, Sad Scarface. I like that. But that's kind of, and then you just kind of go, you're looking at me. Me? Yeah, you're looking at me. Talking at me? Yeah. Oh, that's it. All right, let's move on. Okay. But yeah, I mean, truthfully, I wouldn't I wouldn't mind seeing AJ. I did not know. Honestly, I knew she retired. There were rumors of some injuries, but she never really addressed them. And, all right, her neck is screwed up. But,
which actually, that tied in better than I thought it would, because I believe Daphne had a similar problem with that, because she wrestled that fucking terrible Rosita Love girl, and she went and fucked her up.
That was a sternum injury. Rosie Love actually broke her sternum. I was watching at that time.
I made her Hispanic, so I apologize for that, because I called her Rosita Love.
Yeah, there was a Rosita, but that's now Zelina Vega. But
oh my god, well, I apologize to Zelina Vega then, because oh boy. There is a big difference in just every sort of tangible level between those two people.
Actually, if you haven't seen Rosie Love now, she's lost a ton of that weight.
Sure. But I mean, not only that, but Zelina's probably a much, much better wrestler, because I don't think she ended somebody's career due to incompetence.
Not that I can remember. So, there you go, though. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't mind. I'm sure we'll see AJ either ringside, just, supporting CM Punk. I really don't care to have her just kind of coming down as eye candy with him. I don't think he needs it, number one. And I think it would take a little bit away from him at this point. So that's fine. And, she wants to stay home and do what AJ does. That's what she's going to do.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. What else do we got here? I've got everything loaded back up, and I think I've got everything that we've gone through. We might have a couple here, but I kind of want to get into the NXT hires, the new hires, Smark.
Sure.
Got a few that came out of I believe these all came out of the Las Vegas tryouts. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 6 people out of those tryouts. There were a lot of people in those tryouts, by the way. But I guess we'll go through them real quick. First one we got here, I have a little picture here that I'm looking at and kind of just going down there. Minneapolis's own Bobby Stevenson, the brother of 2020 Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson. So there you go. They already got one. The other one could be not too far behind. He's 6 foot, weighs 220. Wrestled at the University of Minnesota. That's where his brother also wrestled. And also the same guys that wrestled there were Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin. So there you go. We've got 20-year-old Ben Buchanan. That name sound familiar, Smark?
Potentially.
Well, you would be correct. He is the son of Bo Buchanan.
There you go.
Yes.
Former right to center alum.
There you go. He recently was actually a wrestling champion in Ranbourne, ALA. It's Alabama, I believe. He undefeated in the 285-pound weight class during the 2019-2020 season. 6'4", 250 pounds. Wow.
So they got some beef. Vince likes some beef.
Looks like they got some sort of 6-foot cutoff going on here. We got another guy, Brady Booker, coming to the Performance Center from the world of football, college football, actually. Played middle linebacker at the University of South Dakota. Mark, you know who this guy is?
Not much of a college football guy, but I do know a little bit about the University of South Dakota.
All right. Okay, so there you go. Another guy right here. We got 6'3", 245 pounds, 21 years old, coming out of Illinois. LaSalle. We got Jessica. Oh boy, Woynilko, Woy Nilko. I'm going with Woynilko. 21-year-old gymnast, bodybuilder, and CrossFit athlete from Prior Lake, Minnesota. As a gymnast, she specialized in tumbling and trampoline, competing in the 2016 U.S. national team. Interesting. No height.
Yeah.
No height and weight for her.
Well, no.
Well, if you look at the picture, she's short. Very, very what NXT looks for. She is very, very pretty and very, very blonde and in awesome shape just by this picture.
I would say just the idea of her being a former gymnast implies that she's kind of slender.
And limber.
Yes, well, very much so. Honestly, I'm not really surprised that there's not, I'm surprised that there isn't more gymnasts getting involved in wrestling nowadays because, the way that the style has changed, there's more emphasis on doing the high-flying moves and the flips, turns, gyrations, things like that. So I'm kind of a little bit surprised that there isn't more gymnasts. I think we'll probably start seeing a little bit more gymnasts nowadays. Like, just as an example, in GCW, there's a guy, Ninja Mac, who I think is really good, but just still very green. He was a former gymnast. He, has a daytime job, teaches gymnastics to people. So
wow.
I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that in wrestling, which for better or for worse. I know there's a lot of people that don't like that, but I am one for the flippy stuff in my wrestling. I enjoy it.
Oh, there you go. Little flippy dippy doo. Nice. So we got them. Only one female in this whole group. We've got 20, and this guy right here, we've got 23-year-old Joshua Dawkins of DeBary, Florida. The latest guy, a Devon Dudley trainee, actually, and 6'1", the nephew of NBA legend Daryl Dawkins.
Very interesting. Chocolate Thunder.
I do know that name, Daryl Dawkins, actually. So there you go. That's pretty damn good right there. And the last one, Joseph Fatu. Hey, that last name definitely sounds familiar. Of Las Vegas, is the youngest brother of SmackDown Tag Team Champions Jimmy and Jey Uso, and the son of Rikishi. So there you go. Two little Rikishi mentions here. This one obviously much better than the last one. 6'2", 240 pounds.
So he's probably going to be pushed regardless, is what you're trying to say.
2 years experience already in sports entertainment is what they're saying, and did play some football in college. So let's face it, out of all these guys, you've really only got two that have any experience in wrestling at all. All the others are, football players or, wrestlers. There's two wrestlers in here too, but looks like 6 foot is the smallest of the guys. in this thing, and it's not a bad class. But usually, we don't have many big names. But I believe, the Fatu already got a little bit of experience. I believe he'll be definitely get a nice little NXT push pretty soon, and I think it's gonna be pretty good. Going to be a couple of. We'll see what happens with all these guys. We'll see. Do you want to do over and under on how long each of them stay? No, we're not going to do that.
Well, the Fatu guy's staying for a while.
Yeah. He's already got pull.
That's it. He's booking his own matches on NXT. Speaking of, we'll talk about this for like a half second. I don't see how long we can stay on this. I posted it in the Mixler chat. We haven't really talked about it. Your thoughts on the new NXT logo?
Oh, that was real?
Yep, and that's very much real. Basically, for those who haven't seen it, it's sort of what would happen if like a child created a Jackson Pollock painting. There's just rainbow colors everywhere.
Yeah, which I don't. The rainbow colors are fine. I don't care about the colors. It just doesn't look. It just looks like someone just splashed a bunch of paint down and said, "Look, Vince." Maybe it was Vince.
Vince finger painted the new logo for NXT.
Look, Steph, I dropped some paint. Oh, Dad, we should use that as the new logo. Really? Okay.
That'd actually be pretty great if, like, it just instead of actually creating new fucking ring aprons and shit, they just Vince taped a picture that he drew to the ring apron. Made it myself, pal.
Oh shit! They're fucking.
8 people were fired while I was drawing this.
This fucking Claude is fucking running goddamn wrestling company. Jesus Christ! Oh my God, my God. Anyway, where were we with that, Smart?
I mean, that was pretty much it. We just been talking about NXT. We're talking about the new NXT logo.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's unique. I will say that much. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think it's actually necessarily a bad logo. It just doesn't seem like it was necessary. Like, this is a big thing that happens in corporate America all the time, where they just retool shit that didn't need to be retooled. There doesn't need to be new iterations of everything every 2 months to a year. Like, you can leave things the way they are sometimes.
You kind of wish they would every now and then. You really do. But it looks like they are rebooting NXT, Smark, and according to Brian Alvarez, that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard will be the two overseeing the NXT reboot. Let's see. Brian Alvarez said that he has heard from multiple people in WWE who are telling him that the new NXT will be produced by Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. Alvarez said, like anything can change, anything is possible. But I talked a while ago about how we're going to have a new NXT. It's going to be like the old NXT. I have heard, does that mean we're going to get like, they're going to be carrying kegs and shit again?
Dear God, I hope so.
Me
I
too.
hope the Titus O'Neil comes back.
This is how you fall into the ring. Okay.
God, I wonder though, like they don't really have that many people left that were on the previous like iterations of NXT. Like you have Titus O'Neil, you have the Miz. That's pretty much it as far as I can remember. I think Morrison was involved in that at one point. So you have him. You have Wade Barrett on commentary, but I think that's really about it.
Morrison was a tough enough guy, I believe.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he was like a pro is what I was trying to look for. I think he was maybe one of the pros on one of the seasons, but I could be wrong. I know Miz was.
Miz was Daniel Bryan's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, so I'll keep going with this while you're looking that up. I have heard from several people now that the way when they go back to live shows, this is going to be a Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard production. The plan is for a complete overhaul of the brand. Last Friday, they introduced a new logo with music. I didn't hear that, provided by Wale. When they go live on September 14th, fans will see a new performance center, and NXT is expected to have a different lighting and colors because McMahon wants to get away from the dark look, which is what makes NXT kind of gritty, kind of what it is, kind of what it's meant to be. but it doesn't have a dark look. Why? Because it's black and gold. I don't. I've never watched NXT and gone, man, it's too dark. It's like ROH dark.
Now, is it possible that was a typo, and instead of look, it meant to say people?
I'm not going there.
I was and to break that tension there. I was right. He was a pro in season 2. He was Eli Cottonwood's pro.
Ah,
You can't forget old mustache himself, Eli Cottonwood.
Eli. I've got the best mustache in the world. I mean, I don't have one, but you know, if I did, it would be the best in the world. Oh, dude, no wonder you're not there anymore, buddy. If you didn't, I got a feeling he didn't progress any after that.
His name isn't even available on Wikipedia. Like, you know how there's usually like a hyperlink that you can follow?
Mm-hmm.
There's none. It's just a straight up black text. Everybody else on season 2 has their own little hyperlink that you can follow. By the by, that was also the same segment that gave us the whole from this very moment, this is the evolution of Michael McGillicuddy promo, where he just kept rambling for a solid 8 minutes, and it was just fucking incredible.
Yep, and it's also where we got Titus O'Neil. If you want to win, make it a win.
Him falling down while carrying a keg.
Yep, we got that. Titus O'Neil had a lot of good moments.
I mean, I'm not even kidding. If you're going to redo the show and like you're not going to focus on actual good wrestling, I'm fine with fucking a bunch of Double Dare competitions.
I really don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm gonna say I'm not optimistic of the future. Let's just put it that way.
But like, yeah, like check this out. This is from season 1. The pros from season 1. Chris Jericho not there anymore. R-Truth there. Matt Hardy gone. Christian gone. CM Punk gone. William Regal there. The Miz there. Carlito gone.
Wow, more gone than there.
Yeah. So that's 3 out of 8.
I still say they fucked up with Carlito. They brought him back. He got a great fucking pop, and then nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I guess it was a trial. They just said that they were going to put him on a 2-week trial, and he won the TV match that they had him on because it was like him and Jeff Hardy against somebody. I think it was like Elias and Riker.
Mm-hmm.
They won that match. I mean, he was just recently on an independent show. He's wrestling Jordan Oliver on they had a pretty good match, and like he looks like he's in great shape. It just for whatever reason they don't seem to particularly care for him, and he doesn't seem to particularly be totally interested in being there either. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, you know what? He might have had some dates to fulfill, wanted to get those done. Maybe he will come back. We never know with WWE. They could, hit that fucking, music could hit at any time.
Wow, this one's a clean sweep for season 3. Vicky Guerrero gone, Kelly gone, Primo gone, Goldust gone, Alicia Fox gone, Bella Twins sort of gone.
No, you wish they were gone.
I mean, are they still actively with the company, though?
I believe they still have Legends contracts with the company at this point.
Yeah. We don't see them anymore, so hopefully they will not, I will not speak them back into existence.
Well, we did play a clip of Nikki Bella, I believe, last Wednesday.
Good boy.
But all we need.
Does she have her own line? That seems like a very Nikki Bella move.
Her own line of what?
Wine.
No. They have the Birdie Bee clothing line. They have a line, not a wine.
It's very interesting. It's a very interesting way of putting that. Yes.
Was it?
So they have a line of clothes for babies.
No.
Well, I mean, that's the name of one of their kids.
Right. But it's also the name of their clothing line, which is for, I think, adults. And I think there's like adults and everything. I do remember someone was complaining they don't have large enough shirts for women on there. I believe they sell just an XL.
It's just one size. One size fits.
No, I think they have like an XL and lower. But I believe they do not have double XLs, which, shows you what they think of everybody out there. But anyway.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, I had a not a similar problem, I guess, but a adjacent problem of this kind, where like I wear, depending on the brand, somewhere between a size 15 to a size 16 shoe.
Jesus Christ.
This is right. And one time I was doing back to school shopping, and I was looking for a pair of shoes, and I figured for sure I had come across, there was Shaquille O'Neal brand shoes. They did not have Shaquille O'Neal shoes in my shoe size.
15 to 16 shoe size.
Yeah, I would say like a 15 wide.
Ladies, he's single.
And perpetually, so don't,
Single,
buy now, I suppose.
Single and ready to mingle.
That's it.
I probably shouldn't say that anymore. That was a Cuomo line.
No Cuomo.
The love gov. Anyway. Ouch. Sorry about that.
I feel like we both did good with that. The love gov and no Cuomo, respectively. I feel like we could tip our hat on that one.
All right. Oh, we shouldn't have made fun of that. Anyway, we did. Here, nothing you can do about it. Speaking of things that I'm not actually going to make fun of, it looks like... Now, Smoke, did you watch any of the Empower pay-per-view?
I watched the whole gosh darn thing, my friend.
Did you really?
Yeah, I actually did. I didn't watch the 73rd anniversary show. I probably will at some point this week, but I did watch the Empower show. It's kind of funny because it started off with, and I'm not going to do a whole blow-by-blow recap because I know what you're segueing to, but it was a 5-minute promo to start the show of Mickie James coming out there basically just doing the same shit Stephanie would have done. So it just made me laugh because I was like, you just want to be the one that does it. It's not a problem that you guys are, that somebody is being narcissistic and putting themselves over everybody else. It's just you want your turn at it.
She just wanted to get a little bit of a, little go out there and put herself over for a few minutes. Yep. All right.
It's exactly. It was one of those things where it's like, putting over everybody too, but it's still like, hey, don't forget how great I am.
Yeah.
Because then they were putting her over on commentary quite a bit because she was the executive producer of the show.
Probably telling them in their ears what to say. There you
some
go.
Good shows, some good matches though. Triple Threat was good. They had a little gauntlet match at the end. That was good. Some good stuff on there.
All right, well, since you saw the show and I didn't, you should probably talk a little bit about this instead of me.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
Basically, Gail Kim had come out to speak, and she was confronted by a group of heels. I forget who exactly everyone was in that group, but she was confronted by some heels, and they were closing in on it. It was like a 3-on-1 situation. And lo and behold, the Godzilla music plays, and out comes old Awesome Kong herself to make the save. So she comes in, she cleans house. It was kind of interesting because I noticed that she gave one of the girls in the ring the impact buster, but she did not go to the ground with it. She just threw her to the ground. And that immediately sort of set off like a red flag in my head where it's like, I wonder if she's hurt. Because she had been, it's kind of what ended up happening with the AEW situation was that she was apparently hurt and they just, kind of stopped using her because of the fact she wasn't able to go. So immediately when she did not go down to the ground, she did not necessarily take a bump while giving her finisher. I kind of triggered something in my head. I was like, maybe something's not right here.
Right.
Well, lo and behold, she ended up she grabbed the microphone. She said she's not one for words, which kayfabe is true. We've heard her talk before. She's quite gifted at that. But in character, a woman of few words.
Right.
But she said that, it's been a hard year for everybody, but a hard year at the Kong household. But if anything was going to get her off of the couch and away from the ice cream bars, which I kind of pop, it was going to be out there to help Gail Kim out. And she said that she knows two things, essentially, that she is done and that she loves Gail. And Gail, she started tearing up a little bit, and then Gail Kim was kind of in hysterics too. She started doing a weird hand movement with her hand. I don't know why I had to elaborate on that, but she started making some weird hand movement. You could kind of tell that, I don't know if she's necessarily prepared for it or not, because she was very sincerely choked up about it. And she kind of told her that she loved her too and all of that. And they hugged and there was tears running down both their eyes. It was actually a rather impactful moment, pardon the pun, but it got me to tear up a little bit too, honestly. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I wasn't full on bawling and reaching for my screen, a la CM Punk fan, but it was a pretty emotional moment, I will say. It was moving.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture right now of those two hugging, and the real name Kia Stevens. Tears just rolling down her face. And, you know, these two, her and Gail Kim had some of the greatest. I mean, that's what put that Knockouts division on the fucking map, in my opinion. Were those matches between those two girls. They fucking killed every one of those matches. Damn near killed themselves doing those matches.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I don't know. I more than anything, I kind of just felt bad for her, and to some degree, because like she did, like you said, she did put that division on the map, and they did have really good matches, but just that she didn't necessarily have the opportunity to get more, to go to bigger places and do better things. Like she had the opportunities, like kind of were given to her, but just one thing happened after another. It's just like a bad run of luck, because you know she ended up going to WWE, but then like right in the midst of her push, she had to step away for a minute because she got pregnant, and then unfortunately, what happened with that happened with that. And you know, she goes to AEW. She's like going to be on a platform there. It's going to be an opportunity to showcase her there. And she ends up getting injured again. You know, then that becomes another situation where not only did she get injured, but she was put with the Nightmare Society, and that went over like a fucking lead balloon.
Yep.
No, through no fault of her own. But unfortunately, that was the end of her time there. So, two opportunities with two major companies, and just unfortunately, for circumstances primarily out of her control, they just didn't bear any fruit.
Yeah, it seemed like TNA was obviously her best run. Her longest run was in TNA. And then it seemed like once she left there, like you said, went to WWE, had some, you know, was doing really cool stuff, kind of just being introduced to her character, Karma, at the time. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, like you mentioned what happened with the, you know, the miscarriage, the pregnancy and then miscarriage. The stars just never really aligned for her outside of TNA.
Right.
You know, it's really just kind of I don't know what else to say about that. They just really never aligned for her. Never, you know, just like you said, everything just kind of started falling after, you know, one thing after another. She was, you know, getting a push, then she, you know, it stopped, and then she was having a hard time coming back after the miscarriage, which is very understandable. It's a very, very hard thing on a woman.
Sure.
You know, so that's 100% understandable. And then just kind of, you know, like you said, jumped into AEW, didn't do much there, but I didn't know that she didn't take a bump or anything. So yeah, her might have a neck problem, back problem. Who knows?
It might be available on the YouTube. I'm not sure because I watched the event itself. So, but yeah, it was a pretty interesting segment because it was a very sort of whirlwind of emotions. Because just I will say, as a fan watching it, like her music hit and she came out, I was like, oh shit! Like I was genuinely excited. I was like, Kong's about to fuck somebody up. This is gonna be fun. And then she did. She gave the people what they wanted. But then it goes from, oh cool, Kong's back, to, oh shit, Kong retired. Well, that sucks. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But unfortunate. I mean, she did have a really good career. It's just unfortunate that she didn't get to kind of go to some of the more upper echelon places.
Well, luckily she has the whole Kia thing to jump back on. Those cars are great.
Surprise! Well, yeah, that too. It's. I will. That's. I will always remember what her actual name is, just for that sake. You know. Yeah, it is on. It's on YouTube now, right now. If you just type "Awesome Kong," if you want to watch it, you know, at your leisure at home. But I wouldn't be surprised if she like caught on somewhere acting wise, because she is very fucking charismatic. Like she was on Glow for a while there, that got canceled, but she was on Glow, and if you watch any of her shoot interviews, she's a real fucking cool chick.
Yeah, she does seem like it. But yeah, I mean, she may end up somewhere. She might not want to do anything in wrestling. I got a feeling she saved her money. So we'll see if she ends up coming back to some company somewhere doing something, but maybe she'll just kind of fade away like she kind of has a couple times already.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? But good luck to her, whatever she decides to do in the future. So there you go. Smark, you got a few more here.
I do have a few more here. All right. See, from one giant to another, Adam Scherr, I believe that's how it's pronounced, returns to wrestling on October 1st in a match against EC3 at Free the Narrative 2, The Monster in Us All. Sounds like a Metallica album. An entirely independent cinematic wrestling series sourced from Fightful Select.
This could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't see the first one, but I had seen some of the sort of vignettes that EC3 was putting out about, free the narrative, that whole sort of movement he's trying to get going. And then the idea of, like I said, I didn't see the first one, so we're on number 2 at this moment, an entirely independent cinematic wrestling series. So just entire show of cinematic matches. To some extent, they did that with Talk of Chopper Mania that the Good Brothers did. I saw that. That was intended to be a comedic show, so it was good. It was good. It was all right. I liked it, but I'd be kind of interested to see like a whole show full of cinematic matches. It'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be next month on 10/1. So you can go ahead and pre-order right there on freethenarrative.com, which is right where Smark's got us right now. This could be pretty damn cool. And I might have to, I don't know the name of the first one, but I might have to find the name of the first one and go from there.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual, secondary title is, but I think the first one was Free the Narrative something, but I don't remember what the actual subtitle was.
I might check that out. Cinematic, you got me already.
Yeah.
You got me already. So, I don't know, Braun and EC3. That's an interesting combination, but I think this might be a really damn good match between these two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, EC3, another one that taught me, they dropped the ball on him. I swear to God, I've said this 20 times on this show, and I'll probably say it another 15 to 20 again. I really think Vince forgot who he was, and when he remembered who he was, decided he wasn't worth shit.
Mm-hmm. I would be surprised. I mean, like we were talking about last week, I was saying that, Johnny Gargano is kind of perfect for what they want to do because he can be versatile. He can do comedy. He can do serious. He can do all different aspects from what they would want from him. And I feel like EC3 is not as talented in the ring as Johnny Gargano is, but he's also a guy like that has been proven to be able to be a good comedy character, that could be a good serious character, that's versatile in what he can do.
And a damn good heel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he was a heel in TNA during the whole EC3 thing, and it was fucking awesome, most of it. I loved it.
Yes.
Thought it was great. Thought it was great. So this match definitely could be a good one, especially, like I said, you got the word cinematic in there. You got my attention. Immediately got my attention. I think we actually talked about this for the first one months back, maybe even a year back.
Mm-hmm.
So I do remember us mentioning something about this, and I probably said I was going to try to watch it and totally forgot. So, but I don't know, man. I'll have to definitely check this one out here, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool what they're doing here. So we'll have to check that one out right there, Smark. And
that's it.
What else you got, man?
All right, so I got two kind of WWE related things, but before we get into that, we got another. It's like it happens every week, but there's a new person that has went and tested positive for the old COVID. So Rev Pro put out this tweet that says Will Ospreay has tested positive for COVID-19. He is fully vaccinated, only has mild symptoms, and is otherwise healthy. He will be following protocols and will be out of this weekend's shows. He is still expected to be able to compete at September 19th's high stakes show. So there you go. That's been making the news this week. Will Ospreay tested positive for COVID-19, but seems to be doing just fine. Like they said, he's vaccinated and he's been only having mild symptoms, and doesn't hurt the fact that he is in just tremendous shape. So still a young guy as well. So he'll be all right. But that is sort of a big news item for today.
Yeah, young, again, in shape, so it's going to be fine. I just think this is a crazy. I mean, we shouldn't be calling this a vaccine.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. It's become kind of common knowledge that you can still, and I guess that's your point, you can still get it even if you have the vaccine, but less likely, less severity, that kind of thing. It is interesting with Will, though, because he is just coming off of being injured, and he just now kind of got back into being able to perform again. He was gone for a couple of months, and he's making the rounds. He was doing a little bit of U.S. Indies. He was on the New Japan Strong pay-per-view. And now he's doing a couple of shows in England, I guess, or was planning to. Yeah, like they said, they scrubbed him from this weekend shows, but they're expecting him to be ready for the September 19th show. So hopefully that's the case.
All right. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, like I said, it's pretty good that he's young, healthy, and in great shape. So I think he's going to be just fine coming up. And again, he's vaccinated, which Obviously helps a little bit. You're not going to be hospitalized. I understand that's mostly what it's for, but I just find it weird that, if he's asymptomatic or pretty much no symptoms, right? If he wasn't going and getting tested all the time to be on shows like he is, he would just be walking around spreading the shit.
Yep.
That's why I'm just saying. I'm not getting political. I'm not going way right. I'm not going way left. I'm just saying. It's weird, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is, regardless of how you feel about any of that, the vaccine, get the vaccine, not getting the vaccine. It's a fucking scary time.
Yeah, now they're saying you may have to get it every 5 months. Another shot. Another shot. That's not a vaccine. It's a fucking regimen.
Well, there you go. I mean, it is what it is. It's one of those things. You learn something new every day, and shit changes the more that you do testing and whatnot. Who knows? It's going to be an endeavor for sure.
Yeah, it's I'm supposed to go to the dentist every 6 months?
You're asking the wrong person. I have not gone to the
Exactly.
dentist since I was a child. I brush my teeth every day and just hope for the best.
I do too. Brush my teeth. I've been, knock on wood here. Been lucky. Never had a cavity.
I don't think I ever have. And I think I've gotten past the stage where I would need to get my wisdom teeth taken out. So
I did that. Had to. That's what they thought was spiking my cluster headache. So they yanked those bad boys out. And
yeah, I mean, I've heard from people that have gotten it done, and it's not any fun.
Well, imagine being in pain, having a headache 100 times worse than a migraine, while your teeth are hurting. And you also, when you have those, you also get TMJ. So you're clenching your jaw, grinding your teeth while all this is going on. I wanted to die. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I trust me. I wanted to go. I was my mouth hurt, and it was a nightmare, dude. I couldn't sleep. The painkillers were making me I was on Vicodin. I was exhausted. I couldn't sleep because sleep kicks in the fucking headaches. I felt like I literally went through a bunch of pain and $700, towards the fucking surgery, and with my insurance didn't pay. I wasted it because I still was having headaches. I was so pissed off. I was pissed. I was in pain. I just wanted everything to end. But anyway, didn't mean to bring the show down.
No, I know. I don't blame you. It's not a fun time.
No, I'm just saying. You brought up wisdom teeth, and I'll just never forget how fucking miserable I was when mine got pulled, man. So miserable. I was like, yes. You could see it sitting on the nerve, and I'm like, that's what's causing my headaches. Yank them fuckers out. The next night, I had a headache, and I was fucking, very disappointed, sir. Very disappointed, to say the least. So, anyway, like I said, I didn't mean to bring a show down at all. Just, y'all know how it is. Sometimes you just really want to just stop the pain.
I'd like you to put that gun down, sir.
That's a beer.
Mr. Box, that's my wise.
That's a beer, sir. It's a beer.
It's easy to confuse those things sometimes.
Big Blue Keystone. Well, some people may. You never know. What was the movie? He had a hero Casino. When he had a hero sandwich. Was it Casino? I think it was.
Probably.
Well,
you would know better than I on that one.
I think it was I think it was Casino. I'd have to watch it again. I'd have to watch that movie again. Great fucking movie. But anyway, keep going, man. Because I've only got one more, and then we'll jump into a little bit of Raw. I've really only got one thing to mention on Raw, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's kind of the standalone moment there.
Right.
Well, the other one I have is sort of in conjunction to one that you had sent me. So there's kind of a initial report and then a rebuttal of sorts. But
yeah, I just deleted the real one. I'm sorry, the original one. You have the corrected one, which is the right one to read.
Well, I guess that's the point of kind of talking about it, though. Is initially the SmackDown numbers came out like over the weekend, and they were saying that it's pushing almost 3 million. It was like 2.9.
Yeah.
I believe was the number that they floated out there.
Right.
And what was interesting about this, I guess, maybe interesting is a very loose term because I'm sure there's plenty of people that give nigh on a fuck about the ratings. But over the weekend, the numbers that come out, they do not factor in preemptions. So obviously with the hurricane, tropical storm, however you want to look at it as, because it changed over time. But with Ida, there was a lot of news coverages and breakaways and things like that and preemptions that took place. And there was a lot of people that were obviously, understandably, very concerned in watching television. So the SmackDown number did a lot better than expected. And then as it turned out, it was because of those preemptions. The actual show itself did 2.25 million. So quite a bit down from 3 million, but still doing a lot better than Raw normally does, because that's usually pushing the 1.8, sometimes even 1.7.
Still a good number. And I do have a question for you on why it did such a good number. Not that it's just been a let's be honest, SmackDown has been a superior show now for the past, I'm going to say 4 or 5 months. I might be a little off there, but I'm going to say about that long.
Actually, you're underselling it, because as we've been reviewing each show every week, I've kind of been tracking it, and there's been a dip off since they've gone to live shows. I feel like SmackDown hasn't been as good, but honestly, it's been about a year, because when September started last year was when SmackDown started becoming a lot more watchable.
Okay. Like I said, I might be wrong, and there you go. Almost a year. It's definitely been the more superior show lately.
Yes,
And
versus Raw at the very least.
Versus
I'm not
Raw.
talking about just in general that they've been having the best show ever, but by comparison to what they've been having on Raw, SmackDown's been the better show in my opinion for about a year now.
Do you think people were tuning in to see if I know Becky Lynch was coming out, but do you think people were waiting to see if Brock came out?
Yes, because they were advertising it as such.
Right.
According to WrestleTix, they were saying that they were advertising Brock Lesnar being there. That's what was Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar. And that resulted in a rise in ticket sales, understandably so. And then, everybody was expecting to see Becky, to see Brock, and you got one, but you didn't get the other.
Well, they were always covered by those 4 little words they put on that ticket, Smark. You know what that is, don't you?
Card subject to change.
Absolutely. And they can always get away with it because of those 4 little words printed on those little ticket stubs that we get. And their card is always subject to change, man. They can do that. I mean, look what they did with Sasha. Holy bait and switch.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that. Like that is them gaming the system if ever there was such a thing. Because the card subject to change thing is obviously just sort of in case of an emergency, an injury, family issue, personal issue, fucking flight delays, national disasters, whatever the fuck, things that would normally otherwise be out of somebody's hands. But they did this whole card subject to change thing, knowing full damn well that they weren't going to have Sasha. And they're just like, well, we say card subject to change. It's like, well, yeah, but there's a difference between unexpected circumstances and just flat outright lying to people. Like, you flat outright falsely advertise something.
Dude, if you bought tickets for Raw from the matches that they had, advertised the week before, none of those matches happened. They changed them all up.
Yes, on this week's Raw, 3 matches were announced because you had Sheamus, Bobby Lashley, you had, I believe Eva Marie and Doudrop was one of the matches, and then there was another one. It was that I don't remember, but they didn't do any of those. Oh, it's Miz and Morrison.
Right. So, I mean, if you bought tickets for that, card subject to change. Look, I don't agree with it. I don't, think it's the right thing to do, but those 4 little words a lot of power, and you can call it a bait and switch if you want, but card subject to change. Just the way it is. They have CYA'd, covered their ass, and that's, listen, they can't be sued for it. Nothing they can do. All people can do is bitch and complain online. They're used to that at this point. They don't give a shit if you bitch and complain online. They don't care. You know why? Complaining isn't conversation, Smark.
Right. Come on, we are eating good in the neighborhood.
Let's say that line before it's trademarked. We gotta chip in for that bad boy. Remember, they applied for that. Complaining isn't conversation. Shit, right there. But anyway, SmackDown definitely has been a superior show the past, like Smark said, probably the past year. And yeah, it has dipped a little bit when live fans came back. I'm still waiting for Stephanie to bring out those big guns they had when they came back to live audiences. If you're just going to give me Goldberg, Becky Lynch, and Brock Lesnar, no, that's not enough for me. I need more.
More. I don't blame you.
More.
I thought you were talking literally there for a second. You were bringing out her big guns. I was like, all right, well, I'd watch for that, I guess.
I mean, if she brought those guns out, that'd be great.
Spike out the old ratings.
A couple of fucking cannonballs coming out at you there.
That was kind of the point of her run as general manager on like 2003, 2004 SmackDown. It was just like, hey, look, I got big tits. Watch her show.
All
right.
Of course, at this point, she takes off her top and it'd be like, hey, Stephanie, your top's off. Okay. Oh, shit.
Your shoelaces untied. Oh, that's how your shoelaces. No.
I'm just kidding. Those things are so fake, they ain't going nowhere. Those things are going to be perked up for the rest of their life.
She does have a little bit of a gap, though. It's sort of concerning. She might need to go for a touch-up every now and again.
And, believe it or not, that's mostly from the muscles. She has the workout regimen, which is when you saw those pictures, that's mostly from the muscles, why they're like that. So there's really not much she can do except for stop working out.
Yeah, do that. Do that for my benefit. I don't feel like that's selfish at all.
Get all unhealthy.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if she put on some extra weight. It'd be fine. Get that booty going. It's all right.
I mean, Stephanie, I've always had a little thing. I've always liked Stephanie. I thought she was pretty hot, especially during those Attitude Era days when she was just out there flaunting them puppies.
Did you fall for the infamous picture?
Which one?
I feel like there's one that was like one of the very first sort of like internet wrestling myths of like there's a picture of her that's like supposed to be from like Cancun or Spring Break or some shit where she has a wet t-shirt on, and she in air quotes because it's very obvious that it's not her, and it's been like rebooted several times.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that picture many times. Yeah, it's her. She's literally getting water dumped on her, and she got her mouth open, and she's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that. The girl does look a lot like Stephanie McMahon. It's a good likeness. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. But Stephanie's weren't that big back then.
No.
I mean, and if you remember the Jericho promo, "Let the boobies hit the floor," I think that was the name of it. He showed the side by side of before and after. Do you remember that promo?
Yes, I do. It was like during the invasion.
Man, should we find it? Nah, we ain't got time for that shit. We ain't got time. But that was a great promo. Let the boobies hit the floor. That was back when they had "Let the bodies hit the floor" as their song.
Mm-hmm.
The good old days.
And like that wasn't even the most vulgar part of that promo. Like he got a lot worse with it. That's definitely in the old folder of things that wouldn't fly now, because that was something.
Dude, back then, Stephanie getting called a slut back then was like par for the course.
Oh, it was a dirty, bottom-feeding trash bag hoe, I believe was the like exact. But yeah, like it's funny to think about, because like I'm not going to sit here and be retroactively offended, but like it's still such a weird thing to think about, though, that like you're pitching these ideas or you're being told to say this about the boss's daughter by the boss. It's like, yeah, Chris, go out there and call my daughter a dirty slut. Like, whoa,
That might have been when she was banging Triple H, and he might have been a little pissed about it. All right.
It's supposed to be me. I mean, someone else.
Man.
There you have it.
Yeah. So, but, SmackDown again. I mean, now we got Becky Lynch back. Brock. Who knows when he's coming back? Seriously, it'll be just a pay-per-view. He might show up for, SmackDown or two, but
Yeah, I think he'll definitely be there for the Saudi show.
yeah. Yeah, but I think it's a good thing they didn't decide to, bring Brock over to Raw and have him try to talk on his own. That was brought up in a meeting. Let's bring him to Raw. He can talk on his own. No. I can see half of them going, no, stop, sir. Okay.
I think the only really good promo he had, and I mean good using that term loosely, was it where he just talked for about 5 minutes about how he was going to make Cena piss himself.
Actually, the only good promo he has was a very short, very very to the point thing where a guy named Heath Slater was walking into the ring, and he said, "You got kids? I got kids too. I don't give a shit about your kids."
That's true. I do remember that one.
That was the best Brock promo ever. I don't think anything will ever beat it. If you think one does, you tell me which one it is.
I don't know if it beats it, but then I remember those, just two of them where it's kind of the same thing of just him dancing. Because there's him dancing with the boombox, and then there's him when he's in the mariachi getup, where he's got this. I don't think he does a full getup. I think he just has a sombrero on, but he has a full mariachi band behind him because he was feuding with Eddie Guerrero at the time, and good old fashioned wrestling racism. But he was dancing to the mariachi band having the time of his life.
To add to the stereotypes, I believe he also had maracas during that segment too. But WWE was never afraid to push those stereotypes, and let's face it, they're still not.
Oh boy, I was watching from 2004, I believe it was. He was, or maybe 2003. Not important. He was feuding with John Cena, and it was when Cena was still doing the Thugonomics gimmick. And boy, oh boy, if you think the Max Caster rap was bad. Let's just say I will not finish the line, but Cena said that he was going to pin him in the river so that he could leave him, and you can guess the rest of that.
Yeah, you can guess the rest of that, man. But I guess since we're kind of talking about Raw right now, I'm going to jump into the last little story we got. Then I think from there, all we got is, like I said, one thing to talk about on Raw, and, well, maybe two. And that's about it. Speaking of Raw, though, like we were kind of hinting towards earlier, kind of teasing a little bit, according to PW Insider, they were told by several, Smark, not one, not two, but several, that Vince McMahon, extremely unhappy with the original plans for Monday Night Raw, ripped up the script several times, Mark, several times, including the original plans. Didn't you just say they ripped up the... Extremely unhappy with the original plans from Monday Night Raw, ripped up the script several times, including the original plans. Well, if he ripped up the script, but... Just give me a second. Just give me a second to rub my head and think how redundant this is.
If we're gonna bitch about things like this, this has been in my crawl for a minute, so I want to get it off my chest. I was watching an episode of The Observer this week, and I guess that was my first mistake. But it was a Sunday episode, and they were reviewing the episode of Rampage, and Alvarez misread something because he said that after the match with the bunny. And now Tay Conti, I was struggling to remember her name, but anyways, after the match, he said that Tay Conti and what is her name? Penelope Ford joined together, which obviously wasn't the case. It was the bunny and Penelope Ford that got together. But then he said that the recap that he was reading was wrong, and I was like, motherfucker, you get paid to do this. You can't take your own notes. It's a 1-hour show.
I know. Even I take notes. Well, even I take anyway.
I took some notes this week, and I'm like, you motherfucker, this is his living. This is how he supports his family, and he's reading a fucking recap that somebody else typed up. I'm like, this is the most ridiculous shit. We always talk about how none of these sites have proofreaders. Like all this, there's always grammatical errors and typos. And it's like at the professional level, the shit is this flimsy and clumsy. It's crazy.
And look, I don't want to sit here and harp on this a lot. I see what they were doing. They wanted to let you know that the original, but Literally, when you tell me he's unhappy with the original plans, when you say he ripped up the script several times, period. I didn't need including the original plans and then the initial rewrite. You said he ripped. I get it. He ripped up the script several times, which would start with the original if he was unhappy with it. The original plans. So he ripped up the. All right, let me just finish this fucking article. I don't know why that angered me so much, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck am I saying original so many times and several so many times for? I said several times.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the old Ron Burgundy thing. Reread what is on the website. So if you keep fucking up, you're making us look bad, and that's on you.
Yeah, I really.
It's not on us.
No, I should have. You know what? I should have proofread this and fucking done it the way I wanted to and been angry about it earlier.
That's the thing, is that people pay fucking subscriptions to these websites. Like Fightful Select, this isn't from Fightful, I'll make that clear, but like Fightful Select, people pay for, people subscribe to the Observer newsletter, and there's all kinds of fucking typos and grammatical errors. It's like, people are paying for this. It takes 5 minutes to fucking reread this shit.
Well, I thought PW Insider had a subscription basing. No, hold on.
They probably do.
Yeah,
This
PW Insider Elite. PW Insider Elite. Let me jump into this. Let's see here. Oh, you have to already have you have to already, but it looks like a message board. Let's see. You've got the news, the newsletter. You've got all elite items on this one right here because you are an elite member. They've got hotlines, audio shows, interviews. They got all kinds of shit over here. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. People pay for
I
this
want to
shit.
meet the guy that still calls wrestling hotlines in 2021. Who the fuck?
Vince.
Give me the scoop. What's going on with Raw?
That's how he finds out what to do. That's why he rips up the original plans, and then the original plans he didn't like, so he ripped up the original and then the rewrite, or the original rewrite. The original rewrite of the original. That was the original one. What? All right, see, I lost myself. McMahon
fucking sucks, pal. Who wrote this? Not anymore. Rip.
Again, this is where you could have been like, Vince, you wrote this whole show. You don't. Yesterday, all day yet. Vince, have a. I got a protein bar in my pocket. Here you go, Vince. Take that and go. Be merry. Be merry.
We cut the segment with the evil doll, and we do a 20-minute vignette where I figure Stacy Keibler. Like, Vince, she's not here anymore.
That's such good shit. Bring her back. She's still dating that Clooney fella. George Clooney's getting some fucking play on this show tonight.
Makes good tequila, but he's a real son of a bitch. Callbacks.
Did you see that picture that was coming out with all the supposedly all the wrestlers' salaries, and Stacy Keibler's on there, or what? I'm sorry, net worth. And Stacy,
yeah, I don't remember any of it, but I've definitely seen that before.
Well, they have Stacy Keibler at $25 million. She's the lowest on the list, but I don't know. Listen, she knew how to market herself. She's a very, very pretty girl. She can go out there and model for anybody and probably make money at any time. So hell.
It's funny you say that, because a real quick sidebar, I was watching one of the old WrestleManias, and they were showing clips from the Access show, and it was the year that they had the bust made of her legs in behind. And she was saying that they were interviewing her, and they were talking to her about it. She was like, I found it very interesting so far, just watching how everybody interacts with this statue, knowing that it is a full exact scale replica of my legs and my bottom. And it's just like, oh my God, this poor woman was subjected to seeing like drunk guys just do horrific shit to this poor statue.
Someone owns that now and is doing horrific things to it as we speak.
I see you, Conrad, you dirty motherfucker.
Now, that is rumor and innuendo. You cannot say that on air. That is rumor and innuendo.
He got his tongue stuck to it like the fucking pole of the Christmas story. Stuck.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm stuck. That's a stuck. I'm stuck. This is not rumor or innuendo. Oh shit.
I'm also totally on board with the fact that you basically made Conrad Chrisley.
No, Chrisley's much different. No.
Ass, not class.
No, Chrisley gets down into it and gets really deep with it. Exactly. Ass, not, class, not ass. You got to do that.
I bet you Chrisley does get real deep into it.
Popping that Snapdragon out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we are about to get a phone call from people I don't want to get a call from. McMahon then began requesting new ideas, some of which we are told were good, and others not so good. But rejected.
The fucking incredulousness of that. We were told they were good. I mean, I don't know.
But others, we were told some were good, some were bad. Okay, so it's every fucking television show that's been on the air since 1942. I get it. Okay, thank you. But he rejected everything pitched to him before decreeing the new plans for, this says last night, but obviously Monday night's episode.
I really hope he does decree things. Like, it's saying as much as like, it's a new decree.
Until 6 p.m. Eastern Time, there was no official direction or plan for the episode. One source who went through the process described it as the loudest and angriest they've ever seen McMahon on a show day. And I got to admit, Dirt Sheet Radio, as much as I'm really not liking this dude, for reasons I don't need to mention, he got a great picture of McMahon here, damn near about to pull his hair out. It's a really good picture. I'm
genuinely surprised that somebody who doesn't want to be there and like wants to be fired. I'm surprised that nobody has taken like video footage of this, or just any of the times where Vince is freaked out backstage, because there's been plenty.
Oh yeah, now I'm sure if he sees a phone, he's gonna fucking lose his shit even more. But I got it. I got to be honest.
Did you hear that somebody was kicked out of an NXT show last week for, quote, looking like a dirt sheet writer? And not only were they kicked out for looking like a dirt sheet writer, they indeed were a dirt sheet writer. So it was a very weird assumption to make, but they were also actually correct.
Wow. I mean, you know what? I'll bet he had Cheeto dust on his fingers.
Potentially.
I mean, how else do you spot a dirt sheet writer?
I really badly want to believe they were wearing like one of those old newsman fedoras. They had on like the fucking pad and pencil, and the fedora, and
the unlit cigar shoved in his cheek.
What's the scoop on Johnny Gargano?
That guy looks like a reporter. Let's go get him, Sal.
Meltzer, get the fuck out of here. You're banned.
I was on Donahue. I shouldn't say anything.
The long, rambling, stambling is what makes that perfect impression.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the most fluent speaker of the English language. I definitely and stammer all the time.
That's right.
But I got to tell you, he makes me feel like I'm fucking writing songs over here. I mean, I think I got to tell you that's why I believe it or not. I like the Andrew Zarian guy. He's very direct, to the point, speaks incredibly well. I like that guy. I've been listening to a little bit lately. With my drive, I've said before, with my drive, back and forth, 50 minutes each way, I get to listen to a lot of podcasts. So,
I mean, I'm all for this guy because, as I've said before, I'm trying to follow his path to success of just bullshitting your way to the top. I'm trying to I'm trying to learn from him. I'm sitting under the learning tree. I'm trying to like steal his life force.
Listen, if you want to mix Meltzer's protein shakes in the morning, that's all it takes, buddy.
Well, perhaps. We'll see.
You better make that shit right, though. Otherwise, he's going to humble your ass.
Well, shit. I mean, somebody's got to clean that fucking house. If you've ever seen any of those pictures, it's just like newspapers. It's like an episode of Hoarders.
The only way to clean that shit is to fucking just Ronsonol in a match, sir.
A fucking Molotov cocktail. Just throw it in there.
There you go. Roncinol, a fucking nice little soda bottle, and a match. There you go.
I gotta find it. There's definitely gotta be a picture of his fucking layout on Twitter somewhere. Let's give her a look.
Anyway, but real quick, back to this. I really feel like this is what every Monday either is, or these articles could be complete bullshit. Let's just throw that one out there. This article could be bullshit. Vince losing his mind before a show, that doesn't sound, implausible. I can see that probably happening. To this extent, maybe. I mean, they are saying they've never seen him this bad, but I don't know. I got to tell you, I didn't watch all of Raw. I definitely checked out the match that we're about to talk about. Mm-hmm. I definitely saw that. And of course, I was surprised at what WWE kept in when they posted this match, by the way. Not only on Hulu, but even on Facebook and social media. WWE usually would cut all that shit out. Let's fuck it. Let's just go ahead and get into it. WWE usually would cut stuff like this out, where it was Charlotte Flair and Nia out there. And I didn't quite catch what happened. I got to be honest. I didn't catch what happened very much. But at one point, play this while I'm talking about it. But hey, we see Charlotte. She goes up into the, to do her moonsault in the corner. That's kind of where it starts off. Next thing you know, she does the moonsault. Nia gets her knees up. And then suddenly, Nia gets up. Charlotte gets up. Nia goes for a kind of a Samoan drop. Really dropped Charlotte on her shoulder pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. She dropped her on her right shoulder pretty hard. Then she does, Nia goes for the sit-down knee and Charlotte moves. Now, Charlotte goes for some sort of hold here, okay? And it looks like Nia either lost where she was or was completely out of place for the hold. So Charlotte literally just kind of goes into a daze to kind of kill time. Would that be a good way? Would that be a good way to put it, Smark?
Yeah, you could say that. They were definitely trying to figure out where to go from here, because at some point this definitely went off the rails.
Something definitely botched here. Something didn't go right, obviously. And I sent you the video, so you I don't know if you're watching along, but I'm kind of just sort of going through. Next thing you know, Charlotte stands up after that little botch and almost lost look and slaps Nia in the face. Mm-hmm. Not like I'm prepared for it. Nia looked at her like, bitch, you crazy? And pushes her pretty hard. Pushes her more by like her forehead. Looks like she was kind of going for her shoulders, but whatchamacallit, Charlotte missed.
Yeah.
And but I love the announcers at one point said, and I'm looking at the closed captions, this is getting ugly.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was the thing, was like the whole match, for whatever reason, because they really hadn't had a long storied rivalry or whatever. This was kind of just a throwaway match. But for whatever reason, they both decided that they wanted to wrestle very physically. Like I was noticing there was a lot of like just scraping away at the face and just grab, like at one point, like Charlotte grabbed her by her like fucking nose. Yeah. And not even like I got your nose thing. He just grabbed her by the front of her face and just like jerked her. Yeah. So they were going back and forth, and it seemed like perhaps for whatever reason they decided that they were going to do like kind of a work shoot or whatever. But at some point things got heated and somebody went a little too far, and they ended up both getting really mad at each other. Because I guess at one point, like what looked like it triggered it to me was that like Nia ended up getting up when Charlotte was trying to go for a pin. Like she got her with a boot to the face, I think it was. And she went to pin her, and then Charlotte, like Nia just got right up, just didn't even bother like going for a pinfall. And like you were saying, Charlotte was slapping her, and then Nia at one point was just started just like grabbing her by the hair and just like punching her in the face. So
yeah, but
things took a turn.
Yeah, and it was weird. It actually looked like Charlotte, after that little knee thing, went to try to put her in a DDT. And it looks like Nia might not, like maybe forgot that the DDT was there or something. But after Charlotte slaps Nia just like you said, puts her against the ropes, punches her once or twice. Well, puts her against the ropes by her hair. Charlotte stares at her, slaps her again, and actually punches her once.
Yeah.
Actually gives her a little punch. Nia just fucking let go from there. But, listen. They didn't sit here and completely go into business for themselves. They had a little altercation in the ring. Look, we saw this with Brock and Braun, and it was fucking awesome. We literally saw Braun's face smash up. But, Nia got in 2 good punches on Charlotte. Like, a very good right. And then it looked like, Nia went for the Samoan drop again, and Charlotte just grabbed her. This match just, from what everyone's saying, turned into a bit of a shoot.
It was such a weird thing, though, because when she went for the Samoan drop, like, Charlotte ran and just dove onto her shoulders, and then looked like she started climbing up her so that she could get in position, because like Nia just stopped for whatever reason. Like, I don't know if she was trying to embarrass her or whatever, but she just like basically gave her little to no assistance on the Samoan drop, which was interesting too. It was very interesting because I had heard about this before I saw it.
Right.
Like, everybody on Monday night was just talking about like Charlotte Nia match and just how everybody needed to see it. Like, was it a work? Was it a shoot? What was going on? So I was very much intrigued watching it to see what it was that happened, what triggered it, everything that played out from that point. And what's so interesting about it is it's 2 people who have sort of diplomatic immunity when it comes to politics. Because like, you can't fuck with Charlotte, like you can't rough her up too much, you can't make her look bad, but at the same time, like, Nia injures her opponents all the time and nothing ever happens to her. So like, she's not going anywhere, Charlotte's not going anywhere. They both have political forces in their favor, so it's like, who bends first? It was very interesting. And I mean, even before the moment where things kind of went off the rails, they were wrestling very physical. Like, it was very kind of unexpected. And it was, I've heard people describe this as like a catastrophe, as just being terrible, being one of the worst matches like ever, like an all-time bad thing. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because like, the whole point of wrestling is you're supposed to kind of not be able to tell what's real and what's not. Like, you're supposed to, kind of be able to suspend your disbelief. And we don't know exactly what it was that happened. Like, things went off the rails for sure, but it was entertaining. It was compelling. It was hard and physical. That's kind of stuff that we like watching. Like, they were going at each other for a minute.
Yeah. And WWE will use this to their advantage. They're already doing it with this video here.
Well, they almost have to, because it was a non-title match and Nia won, not Nyla.
Right.
But Nia won the match. It was a non-title match, so presumably she's going to get a title shot because of this.
Yeah. And I mean, it just was I'm sure Jim Ross would have used bowling shoe ugly a few times during this match, because some of the stuff really was. But, yeah, I mean, pretty much that was the talk of SmackDown, besides Shayna Baszler being beat by Rhea Ripley, which I'm fine with it. But Shayna Baszler is barely seen anymore. Not only that, but when she comes out, I guess her record is like she's been pinned like 11 times this year. Not even pinned, rolled up 11 times this year. Lost by roll up.
I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that statistic. It was interesting, though. It wasn't a bad match, though. It was a pretty good match. It's just she lost again. And I mean, it is what it is. They don't have a lot of faith in her for whatever reason. They've made that abundantly clear. It was kind of cool how she did that little move where she got Rhea's arm in the apron and then just stomped on it. Like, I hadn't really seen anything like that before. That was neat. And that was another Nia Jax moment, too, because Rhea wins the match via roll-up, and then Nia's supposed to be mad at her that she won the match or whatever. She's supposed to, like, jump her after the match, and her way of jumping her was just fucking run into her full force. Like, she didn't do a move. She just slammed into her, and then, like, Rhea hit the turnbuckle weird, like, almost hurt herself. So Nia was having herself, which is a career night, I guess, in terms of being unsafe, but it was interesting, at the very least.
Oh, Nia had a Nia night.
Yeah, that's a Nia night.
Yeah, so, Smark, I think we're out of news. I think again, there wasn't much more to talk about on Raw. Let's see. So we've got AEW And predictions. You want to do predictions first, or you want to knock out AEW first?
I guess we can knock out AEW first.
All right.
Predictions. Get on out of here.
All right, we'll do that. This was the go home show to AEW Dynamite and their 100th episode. I didn't realize that until Chris Jericho said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice right there. Kicked off with a really fucking fast-paced, really good match. FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. Obviously, this is kind of a rematch from when I forget. Was it Wheeler who hurt his arm?
Yeah.
Okay, Cash Wheeler hurt his arm, and they had to stop the match. Not really. They didn't stop the match, but the match didn't go as planned.
Yeah, they quickly went home.
Yeah. Santana and Ortiz came out with their, face paint on, which you know it's a big match and it's going to be crazy when they come out with that shit on.
Yep.
But great crowd. The crowd, I love hearing crowds again. It is so refreshing to hear a crowd again. And I got to tell you, man, this is the night. The reason I want to definitely keep this as our wrestling night. AEW is really. I like watching AEW. It's still fresh matches. It's still fresh people. Yeah, a couple matches tonight turned into clusterfucks, which AEW loves the clusterfuck thing. But it was still. I just think it's a better show. Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just really is. But what a crowd! Great crowd for this first match. Great match to kick off with, because this crowd, I got to tell you, from this match on, they were just hot the whole time. This crowd, I really felt like this crowd was really loving this whole show in Chicago. Obviously, Santana and Ortiz got the win here. FTR, Hardwood Dax has been tweeting some kind of cryptic tweets this week. Smark, if you saw,
right?
Basically saying they may be done with AEW. I wouldn't blame them if they are. I got to be honest with you. These guys were kind of booked and billed as, we're going to come in here and this is what we do. We're top guys out. Blah blah. We'll look at our pickup truck and blah 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 blah. But like I said, FTR, in my opinion, stands for fuck these rejects. These guys have not moved any fucking needle. Even back when, Anthony was around, we were saying, what happens after the Young Bucks? You know what happens after the Young Bucks? This.
Mm-hmm.
This. Nothing. They had nothing. The Young Bucks literally trashed these guys for a month before the fucking match. And then there was nowhere for them to go. That match should not have happened until now. Right now, that match should have happened all out.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to rush the match, and then I just feel they burnt FTR out. I'm not a huge fan of those guys either, but I do feel bad for them. Once again, they booked ththese guys that are coming here and change to face the tag team division. No, they really haven't. And I'm gonna say it. When you've got the Young Bucks out there, and they're basically have their head, top. They're the real top guys. They decide what goes on when they're on TV, and when you've got those guys there, they're gonna find a way to overshadow you and make themselves look good. That's just what they're gonna do. So,
it's sort of a weird thing because the match was good. Let's not lose sight of that. It was a good match that they had, and they're good wrestlers. But their tag team division, they have a lot of talented tag teams on there. A lot of really good wrestlers, good teams. But there's not really a direction with it. There's a lot of people that they don't necessarily use. For a while there, Santana and Ortiz were an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
And they still kind of are. They had a really good match, but where do they go from there? They had a really good match with that parking lot brawl match with Chuck Taylor and Trent, but then they kind of floundered after that. They were sort of just there with the Inner Circle. They didn't really do much anything. FTR has good matches. They had a good match with the Young Bucks, and we were just talking about that. They didn't really go anywhere or do anything for a very long time, and this is a little bit different because there was circumstances behind those travel issues or whatever, but the Lucha Brothers were also sort of an afterthought. They weren't really used super a lot, and they're just now sort of getting into the picture of, having a title match feud and potentially, winning the title or whatever. So they have a lot of good teams, but the direction for these teams is just sort of inconsistent.
Yeah, and it seems like they prefer more to get their factions over than their tag teams, itself. So, but again, I mean, I'm not shitting on FTR, but I really believe that that they were overhyped, and then they came in, and they're just another tag team. This is not the fucking Road Warriors. This is not the Rock and Roll Express. This is not the Midnight Express. These guys are just. There's more than just having good matches. And I think that's where these guys stop. They have good matches. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's plenty, we just talked about, there's plenty of good hands on the tag team division or in the tag team division where it's to the point now, and we talk about this with singles too, but like, it's kind of there's so many good wrestlers out there. It's sort of an embarrassment of riches that being a good wrestler alone, it doesn't cut it anymore. Like, especially not in a company like AEW, where they don't tend to bring on a lot of people that are just there because they're big, or reasons why WWE would bring somebody on for. Like, there's the emphasis is put on wrestling throughout the roster, throughout the company. So just being a good wrestler isn't really good enough if you're not doing any sort of character work or making people care about you as individuals.
No, you can go on YouTube and see thousands of good matches.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that there's too much out there now, and FTR just doesn't stand out to me. They're just a couple of regular dudes out there, and they're just another tag team, in my opinion. Plug and play, Smark. A plug and play tag team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows whether or not they're going to stay with AEW or if that was a sort of a tease for the match or whatever, but they may be better suited elsewhere. Maybe like an NWA that sort of emphasizes the old school way of doing things, or even just like an Impact where there's not as much depth in their division.
Either one of those companies, that'd actually be a good fit in NWA. Maybe they'll go there. Who knows? CM Punk came out right after this, basically cutting a little promo. Again, this was the go-home show for All Out coming up Sunday. Not sure if we're going to do a live. Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? I'll see what's going on Sunday. Oh, no. I won't even be here Sunday. Forget I said that.
There you go. You saw what was going on Sunday, and you made the decision.
I
in real time.
completely forgot. I will not even be here. I'm not going to be able to watch the pay-per-view Sunday. I'm going to be at my parents'. We're doing a little, because I got I got 2 birthdays for kids this month. I have September 9th and 15th. So I need to, we're going to do a little birthday thing this Sunday at my, because I have Monday off, obviously.
Very nice.
So, yeah. Anyway, not going to be doing that live. So there you go. Anyway, CM Punk comes out saying he's going to enjoy this little ride while it lasts, because it may be all over Sunday at All Out. Punk gets attacked by 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, which I was wondering why the crowd started booing. I'm like, why are they booing him suddenly? And then he looked down, and I was like, oh, all right, something's coming down. Darby and Sting, they come slowly walking to the ring for the save. There was no pep in their step at all, was there, Smark?
Not at all.
No, they were just strolling on down to the ring, moseying down there. We got a coffin drop, we got a Stinger death drop, and we saw a GTS by Punk, which was kind of the first time we've really seen him get physical in 7 years, man. So
yeah, that was a bit of a big moment there.
Little bit of a history. They've got to start saying history. WWE is so pissed.
I did get a kick out of like Sting doing the promo and then still like kind of making it about himself, because he was like, I know Darby's going to be ready, and I know you're ready, Punk. You're always ready, but when Darby Allin and CM Punk get in the ring, it's going to be showtime, folks. Woo! no. I'm like,
Yeah,
way to work.
And
Way to
literally,
work.
like just before that, he was doing this whole thing on how he's going to get out of the way for this thing, and then it's like, all right, so go, stop talking, stop.
He's the awkward dad at like the fucking sleepovers, where it's like, if anybody needs anything, I'll still be here, but I'll let you kids have your fun.
Yeah, and then he comes back again and again.
Anybody want snacks?
Yeah.
Anybody want some Sprite? I had to beat up a kid for it.
Yeah. It's like, will you just leave?
Does anybody want to get pizza on the WCW MasterCard with my face on it?
No, I want pizza. Oh, shit. Now, this, after all that happened, we got this Tony Schiavone and MJF backstage interview. This was fucking, what a gem this was. MJF, always good talking, but every time Tony went to say something, he would either shush him or grab his hand and shush him. Just, every moment of this, forget what MJF was saying. I just thought it was fucking awesome. I thought it was great. I really did. And I just, MJF so goddamn good when he gets out there and just starts flowing, man. Fucking great shit, man. What do you got?
It was. I mean, he basically made the comparison that drew the parallel between him being like Muhammad Ali, how both of them were one of the greatest of all time, potentially the greatest of all time, but they just, both of them didn't know when to say when, and they ended up going from looking like the greatest ever to being a hollow shell of their former self, is what he was saying. And how basically Jericho's junkie-like tendencies or need to fulfill with getting, attention from the crowd, being able to perform and all of that, that was going to be what did him in, because he just doesn't know when to give up, and how he was going to beat him and retire him for good and all of that. Definitely a good promo. Like, he knows how to sell. He knows how to sell tickets. He knows how to talk people into the arenas. He is just damn good. I mean, it's not anything that you haven't heard a million people say already, but it was a great promo.
Yeah, really was, man. And, like you were just saying, Jericho's rebuttal was damn good also. I did like that during that little rebuttal, Jim Ross was like, we're going to get into how long me and Chris and Jared didn't say a goddamn word.
Mm-hmm.
He introduced Jericho, stood in the ring, shook his head every now and then. Jericho hugged him and they left.
Yeah, it was kind of cool how they were doing that, though. Basically, just Jim Ross being like, I think you made a mistake. I don't think you know what you're doing. And then they were doing the video package, and you had some of the older guys, Big Show, Mark Henry, shit like that, people like that saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, and that, like, if he loses, it could forever impact the way that the wrestling happens, that kind of thing. It's just all of his, friends that are also kind of getting older, just doubting, questioning whether or not he can still hang with the younger generation. It's a good story that they're telling.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And we'll get into predictions right after this. But Jericho just went the fuck off. And really, both these guys tonight just really sold the fucking pay-per-view. I got to tell you, there's 3 or 4 matches on here I'm looking forward to, honestly.
Even just a little tease that he did with, like, starting off the promo by saying, welcome back to AEW is Jericho, and saying that he didn't know if he would ever get to do that again, so he was going to do it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, just kind of planting the seeds of doubt. I really enjoy it.
Well, he's going to enjoy this ride because it could all be over Sunday. Didn't CM Punk say that? Anyway. Wow, they do have 2 storylines almost going the same here. Shit, it's all right, though. But Orange Cassidy went out there. He was going to have a match against Jack. He did have a match against Jack Evans. Matt Hardy jumped Cassidy before the match, got ejected from ringside. This match really just turned into a clusterfuck. Again, AEW loves the clusterfucks, and this definitely turned into one. But I got to tell you, man, when Jungle Boy came, that crowd fucking loves them some Jungle Boy.
My sodium levels skyrocketed during this, because I don't know if you had heard about it. This will, of course, impact the predictions, but the Andrade Pac match was 86.
Yeah, not sure why.
Travel issues on Pac's behalf was what they were saying, basically. So as I'm learning this, that was like the match I was looking forward to the most. So I'm like, okay, great. And the fucking the match I was looking forward to this Sunday is not happening. Wonderful. I was also mad because they had Pac on an episode of fucking Dark or Dark Elevation, one of those shows. I think it was Dark this week. So he was on one of the weekly YouTube shows this week, which of course they recorded last week when they were in Milwaukee. But still, like it's a bummer. So I was upset about that. And then I'm like, yes, I switch back to the TV. I'm watching Dynamite. I'm like, oh, cool, fucking Jack Evans is out here. So I'm like, all right, I'm pacified. I'm watching Jack Evans wrestle Orange Cassidy, and it's a pretty good match. Like you said, it's a bit of a clusterfuck, but it is what it is. So they're having a good match. They go to commercial, picture in picture. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll look at something else for a minute here because it's picture in picture. Nothing ever happens in picture in picture. Orange Cassidy wins the fucking match during the picture with a roll up. And I was just like, gee, great. Now I'm just like sitting there just fucking bitter. I'm like, okay, you didn't give me the match on the pay-per-view that I wanted. And then you ended the match that I was interested in most this week during fucking picture in picture. I was upset.
Oh, the beatdown was more important, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm very curious to see what people are going to say if we get anything from the old dirt sheets, because I'm wondering if this post-match beatdown was sort of a just on-the-fly call to, and like the idea that they ended the match so quickly and just kind of out of nowhere, because they quickly announced that the match between the Hardy family and Orange Cassidy and, you know, those people, like the Orange Cassidy side, because I think it's like Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and then Jurassic Express or whatever. They made that match on the fly, sort of as a replacement to the Andrade match, Andrade Pac, that's not going to happen. So I wonder if that finish was sort of called on the fly because of that, or just sort of changed at the last minute because of that, and that's why it ended picture in picture, or whatever. Like there's a lot. I feel like something's going to come out about that. Like it was just a very weird way to end that match, but I don't know.
Well, the rumor is they've never seen Tony Khan this angry before.
He's having somebody else rip up scripts because he's not strong enough. Jake Hager's is out standing behind him ripping up scripts.
This is bullshit. What is this shit?
It's like, Jake, I sprained my wrist drinking a White Claw. I need you to rip up these strips for me, buddy.
You know Joey can't do it. Okay. Oh,
I don't know why I'm just automatically assuming that Tony Khan isn't a strong person, but
shit. Yeah. Let's start. Rumor was Tony was so just pissed off. He was pulling out his hair, yelling.
Like, guys, you know, I'm a little miffed at what happened here. I'm not pleased, guys. I'm going to say that much. I'm just real upset right now.
I heard he forgot to use someone's correct pronoun. He was so upset.
Well played.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Speaking of well played, we've got Eddie Kingston who did a promo right after that. I got to tell you, another match I'm looking forward to is this one right here. Both these guys can sell me on a match. Eddie Kingston can sell me on a match. Miro, this reincarnation of Miro can sell me on a match. I am looking forward to this match. I think this might be a fucking sleeper. This might be a fucking banger. This might be way more than we expect it to be.
Yeah, it was interesting because it's kind of an old school sort of way that they're building this feud, or at least setting up the match for the pay-per-view, because you had Eddie Kingston cutting a promo where he basically said that he deduced that if they're, you know, he called Miro's neck his chink, which, be careful with that word, Eddie. Like, Max Caster just came back from his problem.
You know what he meant, the chink in the armor, which one sportscaster did get fired for that.
Mm-hmm. You got to be careful with that shit. But seriously, I like the idea that he is like actually studying his opponent's matches, like, you know, in kayfabe at least, and like he found a weakness and he's going to try to exploit that. So just kind of an old-fashioned way to go about it. I enjoyed that part of it, and like, of course, it's an Eddie Kingston promo, so it's going to be a good promo. But I just thought that was kind of cool.
I'm going for your neck.
Mm-hmm. Got to protect your neck, partner.
I love. Again, man, I have not been Privileged enough to see a lot of Eddie Kingston. I just haven't searched it out. That's my fault. But man, I'll tell you, man, he's again, he can sell me on a pay-per-view because this match I really think is going to be. I mean, not that I think anyone's expecting it to be a bad match, but I think it's going to be a lot more than we expect it to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good too. I think.
Yeah, most definitely. We already talked about the Jim Ross thing. Powerhouse Hobbs with Hook versus Brian Cage. This turned out to be another clusterfuck, and I got to tell you, man, Hook just looks like. It doesn't look as young as Marco Stunt, but Hook just looks like a high school student standing out there that shouldn't be there.
That's kind of the funny thing is people were saying that Goldberg's kid looks like Hook. So in turn, Hook looks like a high school kid.
Well, there you go. So there you go. I didn't even know that, but I'm sticking with trending topics. He just does. Just looks like the high school kid that, strapped on a wife beater and went to the party and shouldn't really be there.
I'm really glad you didn't say strapped on a trench coat because I thought that's where we were going with this. No. I was like, oh boy.
Dude just strapped on a dildo and went to the party.
There you go.
Don't worry. He's holding it for a friend.
Well, yeah, potentially.
That was a linger longer right there. Okay. I'm not even sure you got that reference.
Actually, yeah, I just did. But yes, I just now got that. I do remember.
Oh, shit. Whoever hears that one's going to be like, wait, what? Oh, okay. That goes back to the THT days right there. Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't mind the match. I'm glad Powerhouse Hobbs isn't just sitting there the whole time just trying to make evil villain faces anymore. He's kind of gotten away from that. But good match. Two big son of bitches going at it. I like that. But it just turned into a clusterfuck at the end. Now, Smart, I got to tell you, was there a winner to this match?
Yeah, I believe Cage won. Let me take a look to make sure. But there was another thing. Is like it was just sort of the theme of the night was, and I know that this happens quite a bit, but it just seemed particularly abundant and pronounced tonight. Was it seemed like every match was fucking picture in picture. Whereas just like it becomes too much after a while. I'd like to see just like even if it's a short match, just one match play out. Because it's like you get going, you get interested in it, and then you have to wait for it to come back from commercial to picture in picture, and then you have to get back into it. And then when you start to finally get back into it, Powerhouse Hobbs actually won.
Okay.
You just lose all your momentum. So it's just like and it seemed like every match this week was fucking picture in picture.
Yeah, they did kind of do a lot of picture in picture this week, and I just again when they do that picture in picture, you've got 3/4 of the screen taken up with the commercial. And 1/4 of the screen taken up with that. So it's just your mind focuses on the commercial because it's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if it's because it's on the left and I'm right-handed. Maybe it's the opposite with left-handed people. I have no fucking clue. But I literally just focus on that left side of the screen because it's bigger. And I still don't watch the match.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's like that for most people.
Well, I got to admit, I kind of walked away a little bit during this match. Needed to go do something in my car, so I went and did that real quick. When I came back, Billy Gunn was hitting Paul White. Now, I know they were all on the same team. Billy Gunn turned on Paul White, hit him with a chair. Got some pretty goddamn good chair shots in there. My only thing that I saw was QT Marshall is so void of emotion, he can't even sell surprise. He can't even sell a surprised look. He didn't look surprised. He looked like he had to run back and take a shit or wash his hands.
Right.
Or,
yeah, with this particular segment, there wasn't really a match to it. It was it was weird because it just started with QT Marshall like demanding that Paul White come out and face him man to man, heavyweight to heavyweight. That's what he was saying. Of course, he's got his whole, the factory behind him or whatever. And so Big Show comes down, or they, I guess, they're obviously not calling him the Big Show, but whatever. Big Show comes down, and he starts taking him out, but then they all end up, the numbers game prevails. They end up taking him out. Gun Club goes to make the save. They clear everybody out, and then, like you said, Billy Gunn starts hitting him with the chair. He got him in the hip, and it makes him look so bad because on commentary, Schiavone goes, he hit him in his injured hip, and now he can't get up. I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing? Like, Big Show needs the fucking life alert. He's on your pay-per-view show. Like, you gave him a match, and you're telling people on commentary that he can't get up because he's got a bad hip. It's like, Jesus, that's a misfire.
Shit. That like I said, I didn't hear the whole thing, but that sounds awful.
I mean, I have no hopes for this fucking match at all anyway, but still, like, this is, if ever a match was highlighted and glowing and screaming the phrase piss break at me, it is this.
Here's the thing. This was a bad match to put Paul White as his debut match on pay-per-view on AEW, because no one, I mean, I'm not going to say no one. There are people out there who actually are enjoying the QT Marshall story. I'm sure there is. There's something for everyone out there. But I'll just go ahead and say, not many people give a shit about this QT Marshall storyline, number one. Like I said, the guy is so void of emotion, he can't even sell the fact that he's surprised. He just sat there like with his mouth open. Basically, he was just mouth breathing. Is what he was doing during this. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Sell some fucking emotion, dude. Look more surprised. Look at the crowd and go, can you believe this shit? Literally, think that in your head. Maybe that'll give you a little bit of fucking emotion. No, right. He's sitting there like, cheeseburgers, French fries, onion rings. Oh, look, a puppy. I don't know what he was thinking. But not anything that sold me on this shit. Awful. Horrible way to get Paul White back in the fucking ring. No one gives a shit about this fucking match. And unfortunately, you're right. It's going to be a piss break.
Right. And that's the thing is, like, just long story short of it is neither one of them is a good enough talker to sell you on the match. And neither one of them is a good enough wrestler to make you interested in the match as it happens.
Yeah, that's just icing on the cake, I guess.
Which, I mean, I guess it's all seems like it's setting up, sort of inevitable match between Big Show and Anthony Ogogo. But let's just get to that then. Like, do we really need a pay-per-view match for QT Marshall? Like, I'm sure there are some people who really watch all the fucking YouTube vlogs that love QT Marshall. But
well, with
general consensus, he's not great.
No, with a kind of stop-along match with Billy Gunn and White, so I don't give a shit about this. We had Penelope Ford with the bunny versus Tay Conti. Did this match seem like it was in slow motion to you, or was I that high?
I mean, when you say slow motion, do you mean like Fast Times at Ridgemont High slow motion, where you're just like you wanted it to be in slow motion?
No.
It's also you start hearing,
No, and that was not the song playing.
Well,
you went Ferris Bueller. Listen, I screwed up De Niro Pacino. You're allowed to do that too. Mm-hmm. You went Ferris Bueller. Just no.
That's my own little personal thing that happens whenever I see a particularly fetching woman, is like the cheesy 80s music happens in my head.
Yeah, I don't even know the band that did that,
no one
that song,
does.
But
it's one of those like songs that nobody knows what it's called or who wrote it, but like it's just sort of ever present.
Yeah, but I believe the Cars were singing the song in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I reviewed. That was a great movie, a great fucking movie. Me and Anthony reviewed that one. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. I really felt this match was in slow motion, Smark, as in like Tay Conti would go to pick up Penelope Ford, and I could have fucking went to the fridge, got a drink, came back, and she would just have her in the air.
Mm.
It felt like this match was watching West Side Story.
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It wasn't a great match, but it didn't seem like it wasn't. It's quite the endeavor that you went through for me to watch it. It's just like, it is what it is. Penelope Ford, she's still kind of getting there. She's still learning how to wrestle and how to become a good wrestler. I guess she's still kind of their pet project of a sort. They're like kind of Trish Stratus, where she's like kind of just attractive, and they're trying to work on her getting the rest of the act down.
I guess. But at least we saw Anna Jay come back. I guess she's off the Jungle Cruise.
She's hanging out with The Rock?
No. Jungle Boy.
Well, no, Jungle Cruise is The Rock's movie. You see, it's on Disney Premiere. But while I do want to bring that up though, because that was very interesting. The execution. If I wanted to shit on something about this match, is that they're beating her down. Bunny's beating her down. Penelope Ford's beating her down. Tay Conti's is taking a beating over there, and so they're stomping the shit out of her. And then oh my God, it's Anna Jay's theme. So she comes out. They stop while the theme music is happening. They stop. They could keep kicking her, but they just like move away from her and stop. So the way that it plays out looks really weird because Tay Conti's head like raises up and she smiles like she stopped selling because she was so happy that her friend was back.
Yeah.
And then the bad guys stop beating her up because they hear theme music, which that happens all the time in wrestling. But the way that it played out in this particular segment was very clunky, and it's stupid all the time anyway. Whereas, like, that if you're going to get out of the ring, get out of the ring. If you're going to fight her, like, wait till she comes down the ring. You can keep beating the shit out of somebody. You don't have to stop. It's going to take a minute before they get to the ring. It's always just so weird that it happens that way.
Yeah, it always is. But and you're right. She would look ecstatic that her friend was back, and that's how you sell surprise, emotion, and let's face it, Tay Conti could sell me more than just emotion and surprise.
Sweet emotion.
Oh, yeah. Very sweet. We had Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill attack Thunder Rosa in the back. Obviously, they're sort of setting up for this little women's battle royal coming up. But the main event was Jurassic Express, which was Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus with Marco Stunt and Penta and Phoenix with Alex Abrahantes. I'm fucking loving this guy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is so energetic. I like this guy, but it was versus the Elite. Another match that turned into a clusterfuck. The Elite did get the win after an all right match. I really just found it was just all over the place. Omega comes strutting out. They beat the shit out of Jurassic Express. Penta and Phoenix also. Luchasaurus gets a magic killer outside the ring through a table. Christian comes out, tries to help. He's outnumbered. Then the cage starts dropping Smark, and the beatings continue.
That's it.
And the locker room clears out, but they can't get in the cage. We actually went off the air with Kenny Omega still talking. So I'm sure there's already footage of what he said, but I'm not going to pull it up. But like I said, man, AEW has just been a great. Not all shows are wonderful. Not everything on the shows are great, but overall, AEW is what I mean, I don't watch any of the shows live except this one. I know it's probably because we do this right after, but still, I don't mind doing it. I don't mind watching this show at all.
It's way easier to watch, even with commercials, than it is shows that we just can skip through commercials to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
By the by, real quick moment there that happened. Did you appreciate the little troll job they did where they announced during one of the matches that Britt Baker had a scoop on a big name free agent and she needed somebody to come and talk to her about that? So fucking Tony Schiavone runs to the backstage area and it turns out that the free agent in question is her.
Yes, it is. It is her, which shouldn't be surprising. Jamie
she was
Hayter.
having a lot of fun with that because she put out a tweet. She tagged all of the big name like Observer and Fightful and all that shit. She said, "I can confirm that Adam Cole has no cavities." And it's like, all right. You're having yourself a ball with this shit, huh? Makes me think though that they probably wouldn't have done an angle like this if there wasn't at least a good possibility that he's going to end up there.
I guess we'll find out very soon.
Because I mean, they didn't straight up say by name, but it's like you're teasing this.
Yeah, I don't really want to speculate, but I'll tell you what, Mark. I know the last thing we're going to do here is, you know where I'm going already. I guarantee it.
I do too, so let's do it.
Yeah, I got to pee, so we're going to take a quick once again, quick break. Come on back, do predictions, get out of here, and then we will, that's it. We'll wrap this bad boy up. So I'm going to play this. Me and Smark going to pee. I'm going to drop the volume, be back, give us probably 3 minutes. Back very soon. Thanks, everybody. All right. Sorry about that. Nature called, and I had to answer. Obviously, Smark did too. So, all right. Once again, you lucky downloaders, that like never happened. Mm-hmm. Never happened. Just figment of your imagination. So there you go. Anyway, let me go ahead and stop this music. Let me hit pause. And we are going to go ahead and wrap up this bad boy. We're going to do some all-out predictions. Right now, they got 10 matches. 1 match on the pre-show, so 9 matches on the main card. 1 match on the pre-show. We'll go ahead and start with the announced pre-show match. Is the 10-man tag team match. Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler, Utah, and Jurassic Express versus the HFO, Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2. See what they're going to do here. Basically, it's a heel burst babyface match. Obviously, the heel team, babyface team, you can just go there.
Mm-hmm. Did you say this was going to be the buy-in match?
That's what they're saying, yeah.
See, I must think because it's not a pay-per-view match, you can give it to the bad guys. But if you're trying to sell people on buying it, you probably have the good guys win. So I'll just go with Orange Cassidy's team.
Yeah, I think you've got the same thing I was thinking there. You're right. It would be a better thing since it's not on the actual pay-per-view to have the heels win. But yeah, if you're trying to get people to buy this bad boy, you wanted them to have that feel-good feeling. And yeah, I'll go with the baby faces jumping this one too, winning this one. Next match going down, we've got the 21 women, Jesus Christ, Casino Battle Royal for an AEW Women's World Championship event. Now, they've got 2 women that are going to be too determined, Smart, but right now in this match, Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, The Bunny, Big Swole, Julia Hart, Tay Conti, Diamante, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet, Sheeta, Emi Sakura. Oh, going to be good to see her again. Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan, Abaddon, Layla Hirsch, Killian King, Rebel, Jamie Hayter, Anna Jay, and the 2 to be determined. Man, tough to pick a winner in this one, even though I got a feeling I would love to see Jade Cargill win it, but I think she's a little too new in this. Let's see. Man, this is a tough one, isn't it? You're not going to have Abaddon win it. Layla Hirsch isn't going to win it. Rebel ain't fucking winning this shit.
No.
Anna Jay, maybe. I could actually see it coming down to Anna Jay and Tay Conti, and they start, since they're already having some disdain between the Dark Order, maybe Tay winning this, but after that match tonight, I just don't see it. Oh, man. I'm just going to go with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, there's just a couple of people who could potentially win this. I feel like if I had to pick anybody just based on the names that are present, I would probably go with Anna Jay just for the story of it. If she rehabs, she wins the Rumble or the Battle Royal, I guess, more appropriately, and she gets a title shot. I think I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to pick the mystery entrant, and I'm also going to pick the winner via proxy. I think it's going to be Ruby Soho, a.k.a. Ruby Riott. She's going to come in. She's going to win it.
I would love that. She's been teasing it. You're right. She has been. I would love that. That would not upset me at all. That's a great pick and a great fucking prediction. So we will see what happens on Sunday, sir. Well, Monday for me, but I'll be looking at it. I mean, I'll probably I'll be back in the middle of it. So maybe I'll start it over. Next match we've got going on here is Jon Moxley versus Kojima. Satoshi Kojima. Moxley, since it's on an AEW pay-per-view, you're not going to have Moxley lose this match, are you?
I don't think so, especially not the way they're having him sell this, because he's saying that he's going to commit like a felony assault on this
basically,
man,
yeah.
in his own words. So
Yeah.
like if he talks all this shit about how all these fans that are coming to see this legend and they're going to be so demoralized after he just massacres them, if he talks all this shit and then Kojima just beats his ass, it makes him look bad.
Very, very so. All right, we're agreed on that one. Paul White versus QT Marshall. Who gives a shit, really? Paul White. Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to say Paul White. I don't want a QT to win the goddamn thing.
Yeah, it'd be Paul White.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. We got this Jericho versus MJF match. Obviously, if Jericho loses, he will retire. Now, Wiki says retire from in-ring competition. That's not what he said. Stop with this shit. He said he'll retire from AEW in-ring competition.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. He said he will not. No. He did not say he'll retire for good from in-ring competition. So Wiki is wrong here. But I see Jericho winning this match, especially after these two promos tonight.
Yeah, it could kind of go either way. It's hard to say. He is kind of getting up there in age. I wouldn't be surprised if he did just kind of stop competing regularly, actively with AEW. But I will say that he's also going to win this. I got Jericho.
Okay. Gotta tell you, this one's a little bit tough. It is for the AEW TNT Championship, Miro versus Eddie Kingston. I gotta tell you, if there's any guy that I would believe could take it off of a guy like Miro, it would be Eddie Kingston.
Yes.
Absolutely would be. Just the tough, fucking can't fucking kill me New York attitude would immediately tip me off that possibly Eddie could win this match. The problem is, I think this title has been switched around enough to where they want to keep it on someone for a very a good long run, a lengthy amount of time. I think Miro's going to go ahead and take this one.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I'm definitely going to be pulling for Kingston, but I think that Miro's going to win. And I also think, like you said, that it's got a potential to be a show stealer, even on a show that has Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers on it.
Yeah. Which is the next match, Smark? Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers. This is a steel cage match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Who do you got in that one right there?
I am actually going to go with Lucha Brothers on this one. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to keep the belts on everybody on, in the Elite stable for a long time. But it seems like now the time's right. I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't make as much. They wouldn't have had them get beaten down in such a drastic fashion were they not to have, end up winning. And they just keep selling the fact that there's not going to be any shenanigans at the cage match, which means, of course, there's going to be shenanigans. Obviously, somebody's going to get involved somehow. They spent way too much time talking about how nobody else is going to get involved but the people in the match. Of course, there's going to be fuckery, but I will go with the Lucha Brothers.
That's a bold prediction, sir. We'll see how that works out for you. It's a bold prediction, Cotton. Let's see how that's going to work for you. It's the Young Bucks. They don't lose much. I see where you're going, especially with, Omega at least losing one belt. I see where you're going, with your whole logic there, but I see the Young Bucks keeping it. I don't see any reason to take it off those guys right now. I know they need something big to happen on All Out, but I just don't see this title changing hands.
Perhaps not. But I do agree with the notion that something big needs to happen. But I purposely didn't pick Kingston because I think that Lucha Brothers are going to win. So knowing my luck, it'll probably be like the inverse of that. Lucha Brothers will lose, but Kingston will win. But I feel like something big's got to happen. I feel like at least one title change is going to happen. And I don't think it's going to be in the main event.
Well, you just picked it right here. You picked the tag team titles to change. So there you go. I'm sticking with Young Bucks. I just don't see them losing. The way the storyline is going, even with the beatdown tonight, I see them pulling out the win. Even if it's a DQ bullshit somehow, it's not going to be DQ in a steel cage. Forget I said that. I don't know. I still think Young Bucks are going to get the win, one way or the other. Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Chris Statlander. This is for the AEW Women's World Championship. Ain't no reason to take this belt off Britt right now. She's doing great with it. She just re-signed with the company. I could keep going. What do you think?
Yeah, I think she's gonna keep it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind on that right there. She is so stepped up her promo game, her wrestling game, just everything about her. I was not a fan of hers when I first saw her, but she sold me on her, which is great. We got the Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the AEW World Championship. Omega. Yeah, Omega's got to get that win back, especially with that Impact title, still over there. So yeah, definitely. You're not going to have Christian Cage as the Belt Collector 2.0. Belt Collector 2.0.
Certainly hope not.
So yeah, Omega there. Now, I got to tell you, the CM Punk versus Darby Allin match. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, the predictable outcome would be Punk winning this match.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he says he's back. Darby Allin, though, crazy. No titles, just a singles match. So Punk comes out of here the winner.
Yeah, I think so too. And maybe get like a heel turn from Darby or from Sting or something, but I wouldn't bet on that. I think Punk's just gonna win. They're gonna have a good match, shake hands afterwards, and everybody go home happy. I mean, it's not the main event, but everybody, it'll pacify everyone.
Yeah, I think so too. Let me just refresh, make sure nothing changed during this show. Nope, everything's still good. That's it. Man, I think we got it right there. I think that's it.
So they're theoretically, based on the way that the card's lined up, that's going to be the main event over the title match. I don't blame them. Because I know there's sort of the age-old adage of like, well, the title belt should always go on last. But there are certain instances where it does kind of get overshadowed regardless of how well you book it.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. CM Punk coming back after 7 years, after, going out on top, walking out. Let's, not going on, walking out on top of the company. It's a big story, man. Coming back to a different company, ready to go, and it's but I do agree with you. You want to send this crowd home happy, and yeah, this should be the main event. This should be CM Punk coming back versus Darby Allin should be the main event. Absolutely. So, and you know what? They may not do it. This could happen in the middle of the show. I don't know. You could even kind of get the old crowd temperature and just see how they're working and see where you should put it on. But the Omega match may be the last one. Who knows? Because you're right. The title match should go last. But, circumstances here with Punk coming back, this is probably the biggest match on the show. I think a lot of people are going to tune into this show for CM Punk coming back, his first match back. No one's tuning in for Paul White's first, AEW debut match. No one. Don't anyone fucking say that. If you say that, I'm going to immediately fucking dismiss you.
Well, I guess real quick as a bonus prediction, it's sort of the rumor is that it's pretty much all but confirmed that we will be getting the debut of Bryan Danielson. Do you think it happens at the pay-per-view? Which, I mean, that's what it's been rumored to happen at.
Where?
All Out. Alvarez is saying that
No.
it's pretty much confirmed that Danielson's going to be in All Out, or where on the show.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the card. Okay, what are you gonna do? You gonna have him come out during the 10-man? Nah, that's not really. You gonna have him come out during the Casino Battle Royal women's match? No. You gonna have him come out during Moxley? No. Paul White QT, who gives a fuck if he came out then? No one would give two shits. No one's watching. Everyone's pissing or taking a shit or fucking whatever you want to do. I don't know. Go fix your car at this point.
Go fix it.
Jericho, first MJ, you're not going to have him come out there. Miro, who's he going to save? We're going to come out and save someone? Eddie Kingston, Miro, Eddie Kingston? No. Young Bucks, part of the elite? No, not happening there either. Where?
I mean, it would be very kind of WWE of them, but I really only sort of, unless they just go, "Hey guys, I'm here and I'm happy to be here," like they just make it its own separate segment, which I mean they've done before. It's kind of
Yeah, I mean, he could
how
come
they
out.
introduced Christian, but like the only way I could see it happening is if it happened like after the main event or after the title match.
I mean, he could come out, cut a promo. Maybe he'll be in the front row, give a little wave. I just don't see. I mean, there's nowhere he can come out and make a save here, in my opinion.
That's a little weird. That would be it would be funny, but it'd be such a shitty like how they have like when they used to have big signings, they would show them like in the crowd for during a takeover event, and it's just like, oh, like what's fucking Samoa Joe doing waving? And it's like that would be so great if they got fucking Bryan Danielson and his debut is him just like eating some popcorn and waving at us.
I want them to bring Bryan Danielson in, and I want him to come in and be the biggest. I want him to trash these fucking people and just be the biggest fucking heel they've ever had. Because Punk's coming back. Let's face it. Punk is coming back and cutting John Cena promos.
What if he did that, though? What if, like, he cost Punk the match?
Oh, see, that would be great. That really would. I really would. And you know what? Daniel Bryan is a heel. We've all seen it. I loved it. I think it would be fucking pretty cool. That would be pretty fun to see. So, but I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think this would, I mean, like you said, it could be its own little standalone segment. He comes out, he talks shit. Oh, look, I'm back too. But I really think at this point,
Man, they wouldn't do it, but it would be such a story. Like if you had just him saying that he was so sick of hearing Punk say that he was the best in the world and how he was so upset with like Punk's return overshadowing his moment that he just went out and made shit happen. Like, and then you just I mean, I feel like they're going to wait before they have them feud, but like you just jump right into a fucking CM Punk Bryan Danielson feud. Like that'd be wild.
It would be. And Punk is even out there saying he'd love to do it. He'd love working with Bryan. He would love to do it again. So I guess we'll see what happens, man. But I don't know. If we'll see. I to be honest, I'm not sure if he'll show up here. I got to tell you, I think this is kind of CM Punk's show, and I think bringing Bryan Danielson out would be a not too much. I'm not going to say too much, but I really feel that it would just be kind of useless, kind of overkill. Overkill. That's what it would be. That's the word that I was trying to dig out there while I was stalling. You know, right?
I know.
You know. All right, man. That's it. Done. Do not forget, Friday night, we will not be back here talking wrestling. You show up in the chat room, it is not going to be wrestling. It is going to be draft day. We're going to be talking about, we're going to start a little bit late. Like I said, we're going to start about 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. Go ahead and accommodate for Cheese Man there, because I really wanted to have a bunch of sports guys while I'm the complete ignorant idiot on sports. And you guys can school me, and I will sit there and be the student, learn. But don't forget about that coming up here Friday. And I guess that means we knock out the rest. And, of course, speaking of Cheese Man, definitely go over, check out the High Marks. You can check them out. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right, 2 T's in Mitt. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. Definitely go over and check out those guys, Cheese Man, Mojo, and G Wiz. Again, Cheese Man going to be on with us Friday night, but Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out the High Marks. And, of course, Bobby Anthem and Bobby Blades, the Inhumans over there on the Inhuman Experience. You want to be over there checking out those guys, too. Get them on all the usual podcast platforms. And, of course, while you're there, check out Eric, Doug, and Daniel on the Everything Unscripted Wrestling podcast, found on all those usual podcast platforms, too. So wherever you find your podcast, you'll find them. And, of course, well, since you're on the web looking for shit anyway, get off Facebook for a minute. Go check out Stephen Milan on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan. Put 2 L's in there. Go check him out reviewing movies. And, of course, you guys can always find us over there, Stitcher, iHeart, Anchor, YouTube, and anywhere else you find good podcasts. Smark, wrap it up.
That's right. Mondays, 8:30 p.m. on the Middle Mid Podcast Network. Cheese on Sports with Cheeseman G, Wiz, Luke Birch, and myself. Sundays, 10:30 a.m. on the Middle Mid Podcast Network on the Mixler Machine, the Mo Dirk City Machine Guns with Mojo with Dirk. And last but never ever least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Rag on Tour. It's the Planet Rag on Tour podcast. Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave, Sincere, Young Nasty. All 16 episodes of Season 1 are available for you to listen and enjoy at your leisure. And be sure to subscribe for Season 2 as it is rolling out.
There you go. Don't want to miss a rollout.
Oh.
Never. Never. You can get left behind.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it could be like you're in Afghanistan. Anyway, let's just go ahead and roll on from there. Anyway, once again, Friday night, Hollywood Hangout, making a return. Smark, Cheeseman, both joining me. It is going to be a great time. I'm excited to go back to talking movies and not have to force myself to watch wrestling Friday night, which is basically what I've been doing, I feel like. But anyway, of course, chat room. Definitely appreciate you guys coming on in. And downloaders, thank you so much. We will be back here next Wednesday night. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. See ya.
Adios.
Take your drunken ass home. It's all right. If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunken ass home. Party's over. Band last song.